Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. We are live. I'm glad you could make it. We have Michael Kahn, Roger, Ryan, and PJ in the house. How you guys doing?
Oh, beautiful.
Groovy, sir. Groovy.
Hello.
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 ¿Qué pasó, amigos?
And everybody, welcome in the YouTube land. Thank you for coming. Derek Nelson, Roger Ledwell, Michael Kahn, Vicky,
Where's Sean?
Sandro. And yeah, I'm gonna give the man of the hour the thing now. Sean Hawkins, Ready Geezer One. He's made a very specific statement. That's his perspective. You get destroyed every debate you're in. I bet you twice. Do you actually beat you twice? Do you actually know what the debate is?
I
Can I
got one response to that.
Can I extend my hand to him? Just like I said to Jem other night. You're welcome to come in, Sean. I'll debate you. Flats will keep quiet. PJ will keep quiet. Come and debate me, mate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got a response to that, Sean.
Stop projecting idiocy onto us.
Okay. But yeah, we're more than happy to keep quiet. Anybody can choose anybody to debate on the panel, and everybody else will keep quiet.
Please pick me.
Ooh, pick me. Hey guys, it's very simple. Anybody in the panel is more than happy to debate you. The rest of us will keep quiet. You can do your thing, debate whatever you want, and yeah, it's debate night.
Absolutely. Come on in.
I just want to say hi to everybody else that just popped in there. Norman Cross, Saddlebum, Barry Ross, Tinfoil 72, Voy, and FE Driver. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming. Please hit the likes, share the show, let everybody know we are live and waiting for Globus to pop in.
Voy's just been with me talking to Luch for ages, like.
Do you need therapy now?
I think it burnt Voy's head out talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
You should start recording it.
But I mean, Sean Hawkins was, yeah, so he can easily come in. Remember, Sea Lion and Peter asked me, they want to do this again, and I did send in the link and everything. So weird they're not here. Maybe they realized they got too demolished Thursday. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Demolished.
There we go. There's Sean.
We know their excuse will be that they don't know what South African time is, right?
Sean.
That's a mantra. That's a mantra. That's an excuse, not a reason. And it's not even true. It's not even true.
Sean can't even beat his own.
Oh. Comment for you, Sean, since you're so vile to her. You're disgusting, mate. Absolutely disgusting. But listen, go. Apart from that, I'll be quiet. Come and debate Michael, not Flats. Michael, come debate Michael.
Yeah, I'll moderate if you want me to.
No, we'll all stay quiet and moderate. Yeah, if you want, I'll stay quiet.
We don't even need moderation. We'll literally just keep quiet and watch Sean fail as he usually does with everything he attacks.
So,
come on, big hard man. Bring yourself in.
Sean, come on.
Come on.
Shut up, babe.
Come on, you got 35 people at the moment. People are popping in. They want to see the Sean debate, the legendary Sean Hawkins.
Legendary. Only thing legendary about him is he's lived about 1,000 years.
No. That's not. You're not debating through words on a screen.
All maps are flat, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I've told him this last time when he says present models and maps. I said all maps are models. Doesn't that mean every single map in existence?
All maps are flat, and every measurement is a flat Earth measurement. So next, Sean, come on.
Sean can come up and he can present any model, and we'll explain to him why it's flat.
Can I get him out of comments?
No.
Yeah.
Right, Sean. Every time I see you now, I'm going to ban you. Don't care.
Don't boot him. I want to have some fun with a clown.
Well, he can come in then, can't he? He called me a CUNT.
I know
you guys don't know. You guys don't want to see half the.
Don't let that bother you. It's called me worst things in past.
Show mercy. Do
you know, Sean, you really need to get right with God.
Show mercy.
Nasty little old man.
Show mercy. Come back.
Let him stay in chat so I can keep addressing you. Ain't coming.
You see, that's exactly what he wants, Vicky.
Mhm.
He wants to be
Gives you
banned, so he
mad.
has an excuse not to come.
Of course.
The
So,
guy's
so
a
come.
public, man. Don't even. Whatever comes out of Sean's mouth shouldn't bother you.
No, but
He's vile.
you know,
He is vile.
he comes in my comments and stuff, and I banned him. And he's even used a sock account to follow my channel.
There you go. Right, you're unhidden, dude. You don't deserve it, but you are.
Tell ya, if I saw you in person, I'd knock your head off.
I'm surprised he's not streaming us right now.
Well, true.
That'd be embarrassing for you, wouldn't it, Sean? Getting a slap off a woman.
Well,
I
yeah.
would slap him, I'd headbutt him.
The thing is, Vicky, I think you'll break him in half.
Oh, I definitely would.
She's got a hard head. A hard head. She's got a dome, like the Flat Earth dome.
You headbutt him, knee him in the Goonies.
And the Goonies.
I once
Oh, wait,
I
there was a super chat
I
earlier.
once told Sean I'd ring his neck and he was like, "Oh, I'd crucify you, I'd break you," and I was like, "Come on, man, you're like a geriatric."
Oh yeah, there was a super chat earlier by Roger.
Yeah.
What
there
about it?
was.
Let me quickly say, thank you, Roger. He says for $2, which says, what happens every 12 hours?
Sean
that happened.
Hawkins, wait 1 minute. Sean Hawkins in chat. You say every you provide globe model. Let's see
Okay,
globe
well-
model first, and then we'll talk about models, mate.
No, it's fine. Since you can type in chat a rebuttal, you can come in and talk your rebuttal. Like we said, we'll all keep quiet. You can talk to Michael, talk
but
to
if you
PJ.
ain't coming, we'll just address his comment.
Yeah. I won't even say a thing. I promise you. I will zip my mouth.
So I'm
As soon
speaking.
as I talk, you can leave.
Yeah, so I'm speaking. Come in chat, Sean. Come on, show. Come on, panel, and show us this globe model you keep professing.
That is so true, Matthew Gregorio. It's not
Right.
much of a debate anymore. More personal acceptance of the truth. I agree. 100%. Good to see you, by the way.
Come on, Sean. Prove.
Hey,
show us
Truth
this-
Troll.
Show us this globe model, mate. We're all waiting.
Show that you can take on Michael. I mean, you know, Scott.
No, come. We're waiting. Because, like you said, Michael is going to show you no matter what model or map you bring up, it is flat Earth based.
You won't call me the pussy.
I know. How can you call it running away when we're saying you're not the one got to come in?
Duh.
I'd love to know how I'm running away when I'm sat on edge of my bed and I've got my microphone in front of my mouth and I'm running away. If I were running away, I'd be getting quieter as I were getting away.
Hey,
You
Steve
know?
Big is here. Yeah, it's really odd that you're running away while he's making excuses not to click a link to come in.
Well, that's what he does.
The door's open.
Well, he calls us liars. Well, he's a liar himself. You know.
Is he in? He's in. Oh, no, that's Matt. Oh, I got excited.
The heliocentric model is a globe. You can't even spell globe, man. It's not GLOW, it's globe.
The heliocentric model
Like
is derived from a
twat.
flat Earth. The heliocentric model is derived from a flat Earth, Sean. But if you come in, we can explain to you how, like I tried to do to you, that times we
Flatzoid.
debate.
Flatzoid. Can you explain to me what the glow model is?
I know.
You know those
Yeah,
glowworms that just sit in a deep underground in the cave? That's a glow model. Yeah.
You're that triggered and you're trying to type fast, so you're making a fool out of yourself.
Ryan, can you mute? Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you got hectic
Get some
background
background
noise, man.
noise.
I think it's not.
Oh, bless.
There we
We're
go.
pathetic. Is that all you've got, Sean?
Yeah, that's
all
all he's
you've
got.
got?
This is what they do. You give them the opportunity to come in and all that, and then they go and they don't come in. Then they go and tell their friends, yeah, they run away from me. Idiots. It's unbelievable, dude.
So look at the chat on screen, guys. This,
Every night, but when you get an opportunity to come in and talk about it, you don't.
but you see,
Sean.
this is my whole issue with this stuff, because these guys just project the cowardice onto everybody else. We're literally sitting here, saying,
Me,
come in,
sorry.
chat about your claims. We are more than happy to shut up if you want us to. One guy will talk with you, the rest of us will keep quiet. We're giving you an opportunity to show us wrong. What happens? Insulting us and making excuses not to come in. But we, the cowards,
Sean's yellow belly, man. Absolute yellow.
He needs to
belly.
school me.
yeah,
He was going to do that the other night, but he never did it.
I
exactly,
said, you're
Steve. He
yellow.
wouldn't. Exactly,
You're yellow
Steve.
belly.
He won't debate because he would get ripped to shreds because he gets ripped to shreds by a tin tuna can if he had to. So the guy's really an idiot.
Sean won't
But
rip
good to
his
see,
way
man.
out in a packet of crisps.
What's up, Brian Shuka? Good to see you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, hit the like, share the show. Let the Globies know there's a debate night. Let them know that Sean's too scared to debate, so they can come.
Oh,
What's
by
up,
the way,
Chris?
Sean, I'll be getting my hair cut in a few days. I'll let you see if you appreciate the do. You know.
Nice. A noodle head, noodle cut.
Hey, David.
Hey,
David
Banner.
What's up,
Banner's in.
David Banner in the house? Woohoo.
It's only the Hulk.
I'm always angry.
We're still waiting for Globus to come in, but it's really weird because we've had 37 votes. Evidence for a sphere Earth. Yes, let me show you the evidence. 35%. So 35% of 37 votes means there is at least 8 people that said they would come in and debate. 65% says no, it's just fantasy, and 0% say not sure yet.
I'm one of those fantasy guys.
So where's the Globies?
I don't see him.
What's up, guys? Sorry about the sound issue.
No, it's good, man. You doing well?
You're better now.
Globe only
Yeah.
exists in comment sections.
It's so true.
I was talking to George on Discord. He's a Portuguese guy, and he brought up a good point. I just wanted to bring it up with everyone. We were talking about circles of equal elevation, and like Polaris, right? Elevation angles to Polaris gives us the great circle, what we call the equator.
Uh-huh.
Well, his point was, how big would the circle of equal elevation be for the sun, since we see it both in the north and the south?
Interesting.
That's quite a
That's a
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if that information's out there, maybe in the almanac or something, but it'd be
quite
interesting to have.
It would be.
Definitely. That's why I do think we're not told everything at the correct
I mean,
circumference and stuff.
For me, like it don't really matter. It's thousands of miles of flat, because to have a circle of equal altitude, you've got to have a radius, and radiuses aren't curved.
Yeah. Look what's happened. Even Luca has to jump in.
Lucas in?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey,
Luca has
Luca.
to jump in because Sean's too much of a scaredy cat. He's a coward just to pop in. So Luca, what do you have to say about Sean being so scared to come in, man?
Well, I don't know.
It's not fair to ask Luca to defend Sean. Come on.
Don't do it.
Well, let's put it this way. Luca, you're much more of a man than Sean would ever be.
So far, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a question.
You're a
for
damn
Matt.
sight prettier.
Much.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway, I wanted to ask
You're
Matt a
welcome.
question. With the equal elevation angles, I mean, if it were a globe, it would taper off, and Antarctica would actually be lower in elevation, right? But
You
Antarctica's higher in elevation, right?
You can't have a radius that runs along the ground on a globe.
It's
you
higher
can't.
above sea level, Antarctica.
Okay. All right, I'm with you so far. That's what my point. Yeah.
Above
My
mean
point
sea
is,
level.
yeah,
Mhm.
the mean sea level, it would go lower to mean sea level, I guess. But I guess sea level is curved now. Is that what it is? I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I can't fit the model in my brain.
You never will.
No, it's hard. The descriptions
So-
of what we actually see are two different things.
About the, well, I wanted to come in and talk about the SpaceX rocket launch.
Yeah.
Get this, I saw, wow, I wrote up good reasons why they have a spaceship like that, and why they don't appear to move much. Because of the what your argument was that the G forces they were experiencing should have made them move a lot more than they did.
No,
right?
no, no. That's what I said. I said they looked very relaxed and not very excited for the trip. There was no movement, nothing. They just sat there like they're waiting to still go.
Can I answer Sean? Can I answer Sean right quickly?
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, there's no flat Earth model and there's no globe Earth model.
Nope.
Well, if there's a if there's a 24-hour sun, the A map goes
Yeah, but that's
out
not a
to
model.
there.
AE map's not a model.
No, it's a projection of the model. That's what it is.
What's the model then?
Sean, I don't claim any models. You claim a model. Present your globe model, please. Get on panel.
There's a Chinese flat model that's actually mathematical. Mostly, you can actually build it yourself if you want to look it up.
You know, I'm so confident that Sean's such an idiot that he can come debate Luca and Luca will rip him apart.
Yep.
Luca can act as a flat earth and rip Sean apart.
I agree.
So come, Sean.
So you don't know what a model? No, you don't know what a model is. That's why you claim one, mate. You moron.
And the globe is just a model. It's
a model is a description.
Is it? I mean, you make a physical model that represents what you see.
A scientific model requires science in the first instance. Like, you've got no science for your globe, therefore you've got no model.
We have lots of science there.
You haven't got any science, Luca. We've been through this.
But we've made it very clear to Sean. He wants to know how the globe is based on a flat Earth. If he comes in, we can explain it. But it doesn't seem like he wants to know how, because every time we tell him he can come in, he runs for the hills.
All Sean's got is, you don't understand, while telling everybody how stupid he is.
Tell him to bring a model in here and demonstrate it for us, how it works.
You see, guys, this is the type of debate we have to have with globies. We have to stoop at them like little children to say, come, let me kissy, you to come in and talk.
You know, tomorrow, can I run around making videos saying Sean's a coward and don't debate me?
You can do it now. Do it tomorrow, yeah.
No,
Sean, bring the scientific model in. Don't tell me I'm ignorant. Just come present the model.
Sean, you ain't got a scientific model, mate. Otherwise, get in panel and present your science.
Can I share my screen?
Sure.
It's gonna be an explanation that ChatGPT says.
Is it ChatGPT? Ask Flats. What do you think?
ChatGPT is fine. Let's debunk him with ChatGPT.
Okay, here we go. Boom. So this is a question I asked. We don't really see them experiencing G-force, right? See?
That's true.
Okay.
Must I read out for ChatGPT its responses? Okay, that's true.
I mean,
the image, the astronauts seem quite calm and still, and there's no visible sign of them experience G-forces. This is because they're in specially designed seats that distribute the force evenly across their bodies. The SpaceX suits and seats are built to help manage the effects of G-forces, keeping the astronauts stable and reducing discomfort. Even though they may be experiencing several Gs of force, the design of the capsule and the position they are seated in reclined helps minimize visible strain on their bodies. Their calm experience is the result of both good design and the fact that astronauts are highly trained to handle these forces.
Right. I've got a few pointers I want to add to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Pilots fly at high G-forces, and they're actually in war situations, why aren't they offered them suits
Those special seats as well.
and them special seats?
Mm-hmm.
They're not
Well,
astronauts.
rockets go faster.
What?
Rockets go faster.
Yeah,
Astronauts go faster than pilots.
rockets go way faster than a regular plane.
Can you prove that? Can you
Should,
prove
should
that?
I ask ChatGPT?
No. Can you prove that?
Can you disprove that? I mean, from my perspective, you have the positive claim here.
Of what?
Okay, let's go look at the special seats,
Of
guys.
what? You come here presenting, you've got positive claim.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
guys, I want
but
you
you
to see.
said,
I ain't come presenting
want-
astronauts and rockets and
Yeah, but
spacesuits. That's
you
you.
said
Okay.
that.
Whoa.
Okay,
Look
but
at
I
those
just want to
feet.
show you something, Luke.
I said if these suits are so good at protecting them from G-forces, why aren't combat pilots got them?
I just
People
want
go in rockets and they're doing nothing other than sat being a spectacle on TV.
but
right.
you know what? I'm going to call bullshit on that, though, guys.
Mhm.
This looks like normal, ordinary bucket seats you would get in a normal racing car.
Maybe a Formula One car. Yeah.
It's just a bucket seat, okay? That's it. How is that going to stop the G-forces, them from experiencing the uncomfortableness from G-forces? It's just an ordinary bucket seat.
I've sat on those on the bus before.
Now, you see they got these hydraulics in there.
Huh?
That's not going to stop them from experiencing these G-forces, though.
Yeah, it would pull on their skin and everything, and their very core. It would shake you to the core.
G-force affects the body. A seat's not going to change that.
No.
And then I want to know,
Not that
even they got that, they literally pivoted to the ground on a pole. So
What
how
we've got
the-
here, Luke, is you believe in some stupid rubbish, mate.
Oh, what is this?
So that was JetTP's answer to G-forces was seats and suits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
basically
other words-
BS for
In other
BS,
words,
yeah.
guys, if you got a race car and you don't want to feel G-forces, contact SpaceX.
Oh, nice.
So every racing team in the world should contact SpaceX and say, listen, I have a racing team. We don't want to experience any G-forces because it puts fatigue onto our drivers. Can you please give us these special bucket seats that you have?
And then once you've given it race car drivers, hand it over to pilots who are defending people.
Charlie
Mhm.
Bucket.
You see, it's easy, Luca. The point is, it's easy just to make a story up. Easy just to make an excuse. Let's actually do it this way. What ChatGPT just said. Is there any evidence that their claim is true?
Well, yeah,
What is it?
that the seats are specially designed,
Look, try and explain to me how a seat can stop effects on a body.
Maybe flat down,
What?
Huh?
maybe they clash.
But
Maybe they have clash.
So basically, you can't.
The G-forces would have.
I also want to ask you guys something very, very odd. How much do you think one of those SpaceX seats cost?
Oh, what? Hundreds of thousands.
$88 million.
Oh, lordy.
Now I want to ask you: do you think though the product is worth $88 million?
Well, it's quite nice Wellington boots they've got, but it's okay for the rain, but for the vacuum of space, oof, don't know.
I want to know what they're made out
This
of.
is
That's
the
my
seat.
question.
This is the seat alone, PJ.
Oh, wow. It's amazing, isn't it? And I have seen them bucket seats before. They're just racing
Here it
car
is.
seats. Racing car
Do
seats.
you see?
Bucket seats.
This,
What are
this
they
is
made out of?
this
What
is
are the suits made out of?
ChatGPT's explanation. Do you see that?
ChatGPT can be wrong, mate.
Okay, let's see what ChatGPT says, guys. ChatGPT says reclined position, high-tech materials, shock absorption, custom fitting, safety harness. Okay, must I bring you Porsche's site about their bucket seats? Or how about McLaren? Or about Ferrari? They say exactly the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the patent?
Word for word.
It does say like the ones in racing cars. It does say that.
My point exactly. And do they still experience G-forces, Luca?
Right. So my question is: does seats experience G-force or does a body?
Somebody asked what is the subject of the debate.
We don't have
Nothing
a subject yet.
No.
We're waiting for Globus to come in and debate. So long.
We're waiting.
just-
It's the body.
Yeah, at the moment we're just seeing
Covered
Luca
it.
think ChatGPT is going to save SpaceX.
The only one
Yeah.
man about it is Luca. Just Luca.
Sean is running away as usual.
He already ran, didn't he? I don't see him.
Isn't it funny how he's got a big gob when he's on his own channel? But he can't come in here.
That's all Sean has got is
No.
a big gob, a dirty gob.
All
that needs
I
watching
know
out
is
with
that
gob.
Vile.
you like why they cost so much.
Luca,
Because
you could
That
sit on,
justify that.
you could sit on a chair made out of wood,
Mm,
right? G-force is still going to affect your body.
of course. Of course. It's
Yeah.
The
just-
seat's not going to
Oh,
take
that-
the G-forces away, dude. The seats do not determine that. The suits won't determine the G-forces on your body.
No. At all.
I mean, do you honestly think that just because someone makes a claim about something, it's true?
They obviously do.
This is exactly what it is, though, with space, isn't it? Like every claim
Take
is
for granted.
the most stupidest thing that you could ever think of, and people believe it like without any understanding, without any questioning on it. They just believe it. Like Luca, chairs means they don't feel no G-force. That's
Come
ridiculous.
But I mean,
Absolutely ridiculous.
but remember what we were talking about the Will Duffy thing? It's investment for money and stuff. Exactly the same with like this space thing. They're saying, oh, they're getting paid. They're not getting paid enough. They're only getting paid this much billion a year. Blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? A seat for $88 million. There is no way that even if they built 500,000 of those seats, that it will get to $88 million. Do you understand? Where is all the money going? Oh, just it's because they're testing it and they're doing, making sure they got the best.
They're doing
composite.
science.
They're doing science. They want to make sure it's right. Wrong. Only about maybe 2%, not even 2% of that cash goes towards the actual fabrication and doing the tests and things. The rest go into people's pockets. That money
No.
goes to people's. Yes, Luca. The rest goes into people's pockets.
Of course
It's a
it does.
money game.
David Banner, just because they sat down when they test them, that don't mean that chairs having any. Chairs not taking away G-force. G-force is acted on the body.
Of course.
So you could be stood up or you could be
What
sat
this is
down.
back,
G-force affects the body.
it's just like sitting on nails, you know.
What do you mean? Sitting on nails.
Sitting on nails.
If you sat on one nail, it would go right through you. But if you sat on like 20 nails,
Yeah, that's
then
the.
the force is
Yeah,
distributed
you're distributing the weight across a larger area.
Yeah, that's what the G-force is doing. That's what the chairs are doing. so you don't really feel a G-force.
Okay,
as
okay,
much.
Luca, I'm gonna put it this way. Are you sitting down right now, Luca?
No, I'm laying down.
Okay, you're supposed to be experiencing a G-force right now. 1G,
One.
correct?
Yeah, gravity. Yep.
Okay. Is your bed experiencing that same G-force as you?
Yeah, it would be.
Great. So would the chair be experiencing the same G-force as the person in the chair?
What have you got that behind you?
I'd say so.
Just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well,
So forced in the same vector as the person.
it's kind of strapped down, so
The chair.
it might
got
not
a-
be.
Your,
That's some
your chair
hydraulics,
in your
yeah.
room.
But you understand that though that same chair is under the same force that you are in that chair. The same acceleration forces.
The chair's an immovable object.
No, it's moving. It's got hydraulics.
Can I ask a
Well,
question?
I mean, it
quickly?
reclines.
Can I
so-
ask you a question quickly? Why would you think a chair makes any difference on G-force on a body?
I know. Why? Why would that? I don't get it.
Well, it's just like,
It doesn't protect you from it. It's not a shield.
but it is distributing the force over a large
That doesn't-
area, right?
doesn't say you don't feel it.
Have you
I
seen
mean,
Have you seen pilots dealing with G-force?
Wow,
It
man.
affects an entire body, not just the hair that's sat on, man.
It's mental stuff, man. Oh, by the way, babe, wrong cups. I did the wrong cups. I've got mommy and you got daddy.
So, like, I was swiftly moving on because you've got note with that, Luca.
The chair's not gonna change much with G forces when you take off that fast. You're going from what? How fast? Like 27,000 miles an hour, according to what I've heard, before they reach escape velocity.
That's it.
They have to accelerate really fast.
Yeah, and that's just a claim anyway. Like, prove they're going that fast.
But
well,
but
that would
but
be
you
up
don't
to you,
understand.
though.
No,
No,
that'd
but
be up, no, that won't be up to me to prove, would it? I'm not claiming
No,
they're going that
it
fast.
would be up to you to disprove it.
No, I don't claim it.
Okay.
Why do I have to prove how fast something's going when I'm not claiming
No,
how
you
fast
need to
something's going?
disprove that it's going that fast.
No, the claim
Oh.
is they're moving a certain amount of speed.
Uh-huh.
Then they
They're
have
going
to
about
prove that
10
claim.
times speed of a bullet, mate. You prove they're going that fast, not me.
It's okay.
You're
Let's,
the one chatting
I'm-
shit, not me.
yeah, let's make it in another way for you, Luca. If someone goes and they try and say we're claiming we're doing the speed limit, we're going to make a world speed land record. Okay,
Mhm.
is it their burden to prove they're hitting that world land speed record?
Yeah,
Okay,
There we go.
but they
Who's-
have like this. They have like a speed gauge.
It's
that
gone
shows
straight
them
over
the
his
video.
head, hasn't it? It's gone straight
Really?
over his
It's
head.
woof.
They are claiming that
They
they're
have
breaking
a
the speed
speed gauge,
record.
which
They
shows
are
that
claiming
going
they're
that
breaking
fast.
the speed record, Luca. They have to
It
claim
shows
they're
they're
breaking
going
that
that
speed. I'm not
We can
claiming how fast
literally
they're off
see it.
because you are.
But we can literally see how fast they are going in that video.
Right. Right. So when you look at a rocket, how do you know that they're going at 25,000 miles an hour by looking at it, mate?
That's what the speed gauge is showing.
How do you know that's real? I could make a video, PJ running down the street and put a speed gauge next to it saying 100 miles an hour. Do you think PJ is running at 100 miles an hour?
Well,
No, I can only,
how about
get to 95.
yeah?
I'll get to 100.
How about you take the rev counter and you just put miles per hour there?
Huh? That's it. That's right.
You're revving, and it's saying you're going 300 miles an hour. In the meantime, you're standing still.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
then you'd have the positive claim then. Now,
Where?
because
How's that my positive claim?
with
I'm not the one
the
claiming.
evidence,
No, you're not getting it. You are claiming they are going the speed they are.
Prove
that
it.
they've shown
Prove
the
it.
speed
Prove
gauge.
How they've shown it.
I challenge you and NASA to prove they're going that fast. You claim it. NASA claims it. Why do I have to prove that you're not?
We've got the speed gauge showing in the video, and we've got multiple testimonies.
Right, you've got a speed
That
gauge
say
on
they're
the
going
video.
that
Luca,
fast.
I could superimpose a speed gauge to you picking your nose.
Like if you think that it's fake, then prove it.
I know it's fake because it goes against natural law. Like
We don't think
Well,
it, we know it by what we
we're
see.
entertaining this bullshit because you're coming here presenting it. But as soon
Well,
as you're
Luca,
presenting it, you better prove it.
Yeah, do you think something that has so much mass can move faster than a speeding bullet?
Yes.
What?
Because it's got
How?
big ass rockets.
Okay,
I think the
Flats. Look up how they gauge their speed when they take off. They have to have a reference, don't they, to see how fast they're going? Yeah.
That'd be a flat Earth, probably.
It
Yep.
says. It says. It says the seats cost $100,000 or $200,000.
No, I can show you one.
So,
Hmm?
who cares whether they cost £1 or 1,000 or 200,000? Who cares? What does price at seat mean? What does price at seat mean other than price it costs for a seat?
How much does each seat cost on SpaceX launch? $88 million. While the face value of each seat has been estimated by NASA's office inspector at $55 million.
Yeah, but is Luca trying to say that cost of seat determines whether it can refute G-forces?
No, but
No, he's trying to do what ballers do. You're just lying. In the meantime, I'm showing you on screen. I'm not lying. Instead,
No,
you said
I'm not
this is the
saying you're
obfuscation
lying.
tactic. No, this is the obfuscation tactic I always see from Globers. You ask the simple thing to, back it up. Just like I had with C-Line and Peter the other night. Bring me pitch data. By the way, I'm still waiting for the pitch data. Do you have pitch data? Yes, I do. Instead of bringing the pitch data, they started talking about something else. Now we're asking you to back up the claim of the speed of that rocket because you said yes. Now you're trying to show prices of seating.
You've seen Night Rider, haven't you, where Kit's going at like 200 mile an hour or something like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
That car has never done in its life.
Mm.
But because it shows you a superimposed speedometer on screen telling you it's going that fast, you believe it's going that fast.
And it's got turbo boost.
That's stupid, Luke.
It's got turbo boost and then auto pursuit mode. You know what I mean?
It can't be disproved that it is going that fast.
You first have to prove it before we can disprove it.
Yeah, but I'm not claiming
they have with the speed gauge.
Right, so
What speed gauge?
I claim my pet tortoise can run 1,000,000 miles an hour.
You can't, bro.
You prove it, Luke. You prove it.
Yeah, you prove that it's
what
not.
you're saying, like, you know.
Yeah.
I claim my tortoise can run 1,000 miles an hour. You prove it, Luke, because that's what you're telling me right now. Do you see logic in that?
What's the average speed of a turtle?
No.
He said he's turtle. He didn't say any turtle. He said
I have a
he's turtle.
pet turtle that can run 1,000 miles an hour. You prove it, Luke.
Well, that's impossible. So
Right,
there
so
you go.
Well,
you've just debunked your own claim. Thank you very much.
it's impossible. Exactly the same.
What? It's impossible to reach
Same as
speeds
a
like that.
violation.
The thing is, Luke, you don't understand like the logic of what you're saying, right?
Do you think it's
I
impossible
can't ask you
reach
to
those
prove my
speeds?
turtle runs 1,000 miles an hour, can I? That'd be stupid.
Do you think it's impossible to reach those speeds?
I don't know, man.
Yes.
Do you know there's a difference between
don't know, but-
airspeed and ground speed?
Well, I'm gonna say. You know what? I'm gonna say yes though.
Yeah, well, you can.
Because
right?
have you seen a bullet? Wait, have you seen a bullet reach those speeds, Luca?
But the issue is,
No.
Flats, is we're not making the claim, are
The
we?
bullet's only velocity is the gunpowder, which creates the explosion, which forces it out of the barrel of the gun.
What's
and
the difference
that's
between gunpowder and rocket fuel? Like,
well, rocket fuel is continuous and more powerful.
Does it take more power for larger mass to move?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Building rockets are expensive, you know.
No shit.
can
Like
tell.
you said, they cost like $55 million, right?
Yeah, they're
What's
very,
up, Nico? Good to see you,
very,
man.
very,
Hey,
I mean-
Flatzoid and team, how's it?
Good in
Hello.
yourself, man.
Good,
I mean,
man.
with $80 million, I think I could get it to easily their speeds.
Yeah, but Luca, with $80 million, I could make you think you're a woman.
If it's impossible, though, doesn't matter how much money you've got, it doesn't. It's not going to happen if it's impossible.
Yeah.
I got a
Anyway,
question for you. How do speedos on cars work?
Well, the car drives and speedometer goes up.
Yeah, but how does that function?
I don't know.
How do they know how fast they're going?
Probably.
Well, I think they start at a point, they mark it, and that when that point passes so many revolutions, it times it with gears, right? As like a spindle. So that's how they determine how fast it's actually going at the rate that tire is spinning. So how do they determine how fast the speed is in air?
I
They
see where you're
have any
going with this,
contact.
Roger, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
How are you determining miles per hour in a rocket?
Yeah, or
like
even a jet would be the same thing. How do they determine how fast they're going there?
With a little fan that's on the side of the rocket. So it whisks past it, it blows the little thing, and spins it, and it makes it tell you. Yeah. Just like wind speed is on an airplane.
Hey,
What's up, Dave?
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where have you been, Sov?
I know.
Where have I
He's
been?
been busy.
He's doing shows. Yeah.
I've been all over the place. Look, I've been working harder than an ugly stripper, man. Come on.
Nice shirt. I like it.
That's good to see you, man. So Nico, are you a globe or a flat earther?
I'm a glober, and I wanted to ask a question related to the cost of the space seat that you've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying it's $55 million per seat, as in the seat itself?
That's what it says.
It's like $100,000.
No, I just brought it up. Let's bring it up again.
Do it.
Can I comment?
And I'm going to leave you guys.
We can only claim price at seats by what we find online.
Yeah, so if you read a little bit further to what the Wikipedia page that Flatzoid presented there, it doesn't say that it's $55 million for the seat. It is the cost for transportation. They call it the seat.
Right. So it costs next to naught to make then.
I think it's I think it's $180,000 a pound.
Same question goes to you then, Globe Believer. Like, how does the seat negate G-forces on a human body?
Well, the seat makes it easy to take, but if you look at what the G-forces that you're experiencing within the launch itself, it's not that great, and it's not for very long.
It's not, is it?
Tell you another bad thing about those.
Have you seen them testing astronauts with G-forces?
I don't really get to see it personally. I've seen it many times around the globe. They do that very often.
That's a good one.
Around the what?
Bye, guys.
Well, you might.
Around the globe.
Around the globe.
Put it this way, right?
You think they shoot up a rocket into space?
You don't test an astronaut in high Gs to then put him on a rocket that's not going many Gs. That's silly.
Can you
How many Gs do you think the rocket is experiencing when you
I've no clue, like, because I don't believe none of this bullshit, so I don't really get much far.
So you just don't care?
I'd say about 4, 5.
No, I don't care because it's bullshit.
At maximum is about 6
I'd
Gs.
say around 4, maybe 5.
How fast is an astronaut going in a rocket? He's going about 0 miles per hour because he's not on a rocket. And an astronaut and a rocket aren't going to space, so it's bullshit. So they're going no speed, mate. None.
Agree.
You believe
Okay, well,
that they are. You have to
let's
back
put it a
all
little
your
bit more on your
bullshit, not me.
perspective. How much G-force will the
Yeah, that's a
seat
good-
experience when you shoot it up into space?
The
None.
same as a person.
None. Same as a person.
Yeah, well, you
Seat's
guys
not going
don't think
into
there's a
space.
person, so how
Person's
much
not
with the
going into
seat
space.
experience?
Whoa,
Listen,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
listen.
whoa.
No, listen. Seat's not going into space. Person's not going into space.
Mhm.
Rocket's not going into space. They're experiencing 0 G-forces because it's not going anywhere. It's just bullshit that you believe.
Yeah, but that's just ignorance on your side.
No, Nico. You
no,
see, the thing is that we're sort of trying to explain to Luca. You guys are making a positive claim that space is real and it's going there. It's not our job to disprove something that hasn't been proven.
Well, another problem we got with those suits too is, you can X-ray right through those.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I laughed about? You know when they like did the so-called a station walk in space when they opened and it looked like a mannequin up there.
That was Ray going.
Yeah. Tell me something. What's the
Ray,
difference
got that
between
seat
those suits
Come
and
on.
the NASA spacesuits?
Hmm.
The NASA spacesuits has a cooling system.
Yep.
Why do they have a cooling system in the NASA suits and they don't have a cooling system in the SpaceX suits?
I'll tell you something else.
How do
about
you know
them.
they don't have a cooling system in the SpaceX suits?
I'll tell you something else about them space
Go,
suits.
we'll read it up.
Flats. I'll
Yeah.
tell you something else about them space suits. They'll make Captain Scarlet jealous.
Uh-huh.
So those suits that they use very definitely has got one of those umbilical cords connected to it. What do they do?
Umbilical cords. That's supposed to feed air.
Okay, so there's cooling.
Air is not cooling. NASA uses water for cooling.
No, well, I don't know. I'm asking you guys. You guys are saying that you know about these spacesuits. I'm wanting to hear and understand what is going on there. I saw an umbilical cord, and I'm wanting you to tell me what they're for.
Air
Is that all?
to breathe.
Yeah. It makes sense. Hard.
It just seems to me like it's very ignorant from you guys. Just because you're not making a claim, you're not interested to see how it works, why it works, and what's actually happening. You're just shoving
Do
it off.
realize that in order to breathe, you require a certain amount of pressure on the exterior of your body, right? You do realize that. And that's why you can't breathe very well as you go up in elevation. You have to have more pressure against your body in order to breathe. So where's this pressure coming from against 10 to the negative 11 torr? Where's that coming from? Where's this pressure, this inward pressure of displacement on the body that's required in order to be able to work your lungs?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from?
I don't know. I would like for you guys to perhaps
No,
explain
it's
some
your
of these.
story. You're the one saying that these guys are up there in a suit. You tell me how they're doing it.
I don't
I
know,
don't
guys.
believe
I
they're
mean, the
doing it
whole
at
world
all.
is seeing these things. We've got all this technology out there that you guys are just shoving off.
Words.
You can't just say that it's undersea
technology.
cable.
What technology up there? Like you
What
have to prove
technology?
that.
Couple of lights and a couple of buttons.
See, it's just science, gravity.
You see something
okay.
on
Yeah.
TV showing you things,
Wow.
and then
Okay.
you want to claim they're real, and then we have to explain why they're not.
Okay. So you guys don't think that there is satellite internet?
Okay, I'm going to show you.
Satellite. Define satellite. If you think that it's a magical garbage can flying around a globe, well, you're sadly mistaken because that's not what a satellite is. A satellite is a node to a central unit. That's what a satellite is. Okay, and we have them all over the place. You see them all the time going down the road. They're stuck up on big towers and shit.
I've got
You
a
don't
question,
think
right?
that the
just wanna-
pressure... it
Sorry,
cannot-
I see I've got a super
I've got a
chat.
question,
Adam.
right? You claim satellites to like make so that people have got internet in far off places, and then also they claim that they've got balloons doing the same thing. Now balloons are a lot more cost effective than supposed satellites in a fake place, right? So
Someone
Yeah,
explain
but the
why you
balloons
have
don't stay
both.
up there for very long, do they?
Few months.
What do
it's
they
Anyway,
put
been
on
a
top
long
of
time.
every
Yeah,
high?
they can
What do they
stay.
put on every high elevation peak that you've ever encountered? On every high elevation peak you see, on the highest
Towers.
elevation, there's a tower. What's that for? What's that for? Huh?
No, that's
If
all
you
good
got
and
shit up
well,
in space, you shouldn't need that, right?
Exactly.
but that's
But
a
I just,
communication tower. There's no quibble about that.
Well, right.
okay,
So if you got shit up in space, why do you need that?
Yeah, but why don't you point your satellite dish at that tower then?
I live
What?
in the bush, man, and I can tell you satellites don't work too well.
Yeah, well, dude, I don't need to live in the bush. I can tell you very precisely where I am using my simple GPS.
Yeah, can you prove that
Well, I
that's
can
coming?
tell you.
Hold on.
Well,
Can you
wait.
prove that that's coming from a magical garbage can in space? Can you prove that that information you're getting is actually coming from one of these flying things out in space?
No, we can't.
You have no
Yeah.
idea where the hell it's coming from.
Can't.
All you're
I
doing
know.
is looking at a thing and reading the information, bro.
How do you get in signal out in the
Okay,
middle of
before Luca wants to
No.
reverse the bird on task again, I just want to read the super
You
chat.
use a
Thank you,
satellite
Vidali,
phone.
for your $2
With
super
a greater transmission and receive
chat.
rate.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, thank you, Vidali, for your $2 super chat. Hey, did you see the news nonsense about two moons?
Yes.
Yes, we saw that a 10-meter asteroid or something that's apparently becoming a moon that you can't see, but it's there. But anyway, can you see what I got on screen?
where?
Nico made a claim that I'm ignorant to the spacesuit. Can you read for us what it says here?
Who's reading it?
Okay, I'll do it.
SpaceX.
SpaceX suit doesn't use a heat exchange system. Instead, it uses phase change materials, which releases or absorbs energy when it changes its state to heat or cool as the astronaut moves between sunlight and shadow. While these fabrics help regulate temperature without the need for dedicated cooling systems, it is not suitable for long spacewalks or hard work. So in other words, they would die because it's material. What's the supposed heat on their bodies in the nature violation space vacuum?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Hotter than anything we will be able to have, any composition we have on Earth, that it will melt. Anything we have here will melt in that temperature. Now, you want to tell me a piece of fabric is able to withstand that after they've violated the natural law of entropy? Really weird.
Very much so.
So, yeah, like I said, they're just trying to reverse the burden onto us, as usual.
Can I just mention to the guys who believe in space and that, right? You only believe it, you've not verified it, you're only believing what you've been told. You've not been to space, you've not verified it, you just hear what NASA says and what it says on TV and you believe it wholeheartedly. That's silly.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask Nico a very good question there. Nico, what makes you believe that what they're giving you is true?
I've got absolutely no reason to deny and to go out and question absolutely everything. I do understand technology. I am in the technology field. I do understand how the GPS signals work. I do understand how satellite communication work. And I do understand that there's lots of areas in this world, especially in the bush area, where there is no communication satellites, or not satellites, but communication towers around you, and you can't use your normal cell phone. And what you do, you use a satellite cell phone to make a call.
Is
And
the
that works
satellite
quite
phone
well.
does the satellite phone use a different frequency than a normal phone?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
A satellite phone also don't get signal in some places, so it can't be using a satellite, can it?
How do you know? This is what I'm trying to get. Okay, so you call it a satellite phone, and because of this, you believe that it's communicating with some kind of an object flying around out in space.
That's right.
Okay, what verification do you have that your satellite phone is receiving anything from space, how do you know where it's receiving the signal from? And you just admitted that it's working on a different frequency, right?
That's right.
So what if I renamed my FM band on my radio satellite, right? Does that now mean that the FM band is coming from the satellite? No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
How do
All
you
it means
know?
is it's coming from a different frequency range, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what verification do you have that your signal is actually coming from outer space or
Well, a
orbit?
verification that you can use
How do
is
you
in
know
the
it's
area
not?
where you don't have cell phone or cellular signal and you use a satellite phone, it works.
Yes,
The
I
moment you
just
move your
went
cell
over
phone
why.
closer to the tower where there is cellular signal, then all of a sudden your cellular signal starts to work.
Do you
Do
know
different
frequencies
frequencies
travel at
have
different?
different ranges? Do different frequencies have different ranges? Go
Most
ahead.
definitely.
Yes, they do. Okay. And the
Yeah.
satellite phone works on a different frequency than the cell phone. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you just answered your own damn question then, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
But why aren't you guys going to all these people that's making satellite phones and putting a big mark on their face and say, but you guys are talking bullshit?
We
Why
are.
must we?
We're doing that
No,
now.
wait. Why must we? What
Well, why
is it?
not?
It's not because it's not our job to go tell them. We are here. If they got an issue, they can come to us.
Yeah.
Sure.
The truth this way, we don't go to them physically and protest. What would it help? It wouldn't do anything, would it?
What am I supposed to do? Go down to the AT&T store and say, "Hey, you guys stop saying this is from a satellite, man." Because I can actually
No, I
say
wouldn't
that.
go to AT&T. I would go to places like Motorola and those places that makes satellite technology.
Listen,
Sure,
right?
sure.
The
I'll
thing
just
is,
hop down to the Samsung factory. I'll say, "I want to speak to the manager right now. I want to talk to the clown that says that this shit's coming from space. That's who I want to talk to right this minute." Sure, they're going to kick my ass out of the building, bro. It's not going to get any traction.
The
You
thing
already
is,
know that.
the thing is, we've looked into things, we've realized that they're bullshit. We talk about it, and people come and listen, and they either look into it for themselves or they just deny it, right? But fact is, people are waking up to this bullshit. People are waking up to the fact that space is fake. There's no satellites in space.
And gay.
Astronauts can't go into this place that doesn't exist. Like, people are waking up to that. Like, and that's just how things are, like, right? We don't have to go to companies and say, look, mate, you're claiming satellite phones, but we're here to tell you that they're not real. We don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before we go on, I just want to say thank you for your $2 super chat. Roger Lidwell says space is a screenwriter's wet dream. That is true.
Roger, you rock.
You rock, Roger. That is actually very true. What do you think most successful movies are in Hollywood? Usually space.
Right, that's right, that's right. And I don't mind sci-fi, but I know where that ends. And
I absolutely
Nico,
love
have you-
space films. I absolutely love them, man. The best films go in space films.
Yeah.
Do I believe space is real? No, I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, Nico, have you heard of Lauren before? Lauren E.
No.
Laura and who?
Lauren.
No.
It's space. It's ground-based linking systems. The military has been using them for years, meaning not space.
Are you talking about like voice communication?
So your satellites are based on LoRaWAN.
Look, let's kill this real fast, right? Space cannot physically exist as claimed, right? It's against natural law. Any claims are little tin cans in space, astronauts going to space, rockets going to space are all bunk because it violates natural law. So let's stop arguing about bullshit. It's done.
That's right.
90. What is it?
I don't know.
90,
If I were you, and I see private companies all around the world shooting technology up into space and receiving data back and using it.
You've never seen that.
Then
You've been told that.
you
You've been
just
told
shrug
that.
it off.
You've never seen
No,
it.
And they're all claiming to do these things that violates natural law. Natural law tells me space as a vacuum can't exist. Game over.
Yeah, I think it's really just ingenuous that you look into that and just say, no, I don't believe it, and you walk away.
It does
It's just
not
weird.
matter what companies saying they're firing things into space.
Nature
Space
abhors
violates
vacuum.
natural law,
Yeah.
then it can't exist. Game over. There's no
Once
argument.
you eliminate
I
the
think you guys are
It's
just
your
claiming
belief,
ignorance.
mate.
No, of
That's
course
just
not.
you.
What?
You
No.
believe it to be real. Don't mean it's real. Natural law
Hold
says
on, let's
otherwise.
get into the physics of it. Nice. Let's get into the physics of it. How
Well,
can we be breathing? How could we be breathing right now if space is real and they're shooting rockets into it?
Right. That's right.
How could that be? Is
Gravity.
Why
Earth
can't
an
we breathe? I
organ?
mean, I don't understand.
Okay, well, you can't breathe without a
Gravity.
specific volume of air. Okay,
Gravity.
you have to have this, and you can't have a specific volume of air or gas without a container. Otherwise, equalization occurs. Okay, so how is it that we could have air, but at the same time we can leave the Earth system, but the gas stays? How does that occur?
Yes.
Gravity.
No, Lucas, shut up. I'm not even talking to you. Okay, I'm talking to somebody that can actually have a conversation without using Chat GPT. All right.
Yeah, look, I don't think that answer that ChatGPT gave was very accurate, but ChatGPT isn't necessarily the most accurate thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't care about it. So how do we have air?
Well, we've got pressure down here, and if you
Yeah.
go 10,000 feet up into the sky,
Mhm.
then the amount of air reduces. I wonder why that is.
No, the amount of air doesn't reduce. The pressure
You've
does.
just killed
Yeah,
any
you-
argument.
yeah,
You just
Okay.
killed
Yeah,
any
most-
argument you've
Most
got when you
definitely, the
said-
pressure does reduce. You're quite right.
Yeah, it does. You can't have
killed any
any
argument
pressure.
you've got when you
Listen.
mention pressure, mate.
You can't
So-
have any pressure at all without containment. In order to have a gradient, okay, the claim is that gravity causes the gradient. Well, do you have any demonstrable scientific evidence, proof that gravity has any effect on air? No, you don't. None
Air's
whatsoever.
got mass, doesn't it? The air particles,
Does it?
molecules.
Does it? That's like
Well, it's
saying
mass, doesn't
sand.
it?
That's like saying sand has mass, but how much of it? You have to have a contained volume of sand granules in order to have a mass of it. And without containing those granules, you don't have any cohesive mass, do you? Same thing with air. Same thing with air, but the only difference is sand particles want to drop. Air doesn't. Air wants to go in every direction.
That's right.
Okay, and in order to
Air
have
does
that
go
volume
in
of
every direction. I think you're quite right. But if you give it enough time, it will have a bias to go downwards.
Why? Why would it have a bias to go down over time when it doesn't? When does this ever happen?
Okay, well, I think the question is, does it have the bias to go down?
No, it doesn't. Obviously,
Doesn't
there
it?
would be demonstrable proof of that. In other words,
So
an
sure, but
experiment
why is there a
showing-
pressure gradient?
The
Well,
question would
you
be
have to
the
have
question,
the pressure to have the gradient.
the question
So-
would be: is there downward bias? And no, there isn't.
So you have to have a pressure.
But
in
if
order
there
to have
isn't a
gradient.
downward bias, then why is there a pressure gradient?
Okay, why is there a pressure gradient? Well, let's think about what can cause pressure to decrease and what we observe. Do we also have another kind of a gradient, right? And it's called a temperature gradient. It gets cooler as we go up. And as everyone
Yeah, but it's
knows,
not constant.
it gets cooler as we go up. And these pressures are not like
Yes,
a
and in
layer
some
cake.
cases it gets warmer again.
Okay. So what happens to air when it gets cool? I'm not this isn't a singular thing. This is the problem that you people have, is that you always look for one singular cause when in reality it's a cocktail of things.
The dynamic
Because
system.
it's a dynamic system, you understand? So pressure
It's a dynamic system with
Pressure-
a global, whether you call it flat or round, but there's a pressure gradient wherever you are.
Yes, there is.
Wait,
and
wait.
in order to have a gradient of pressure, you have to have pressure to begin with. Pressure of a gas is impossible without containment. This is what I'm trying to impart to you. Now you
See, but the thing that you're leaving out is you just don't want to believe into the last final
I
step
don't
and the thing that
believe.
says
Listen, that's
there is
just
a downward bias to anything that's got mass,
There isn't.
including air
Of
particles.
knowing.
There's
Listen,
no downward bias.
Listen, nice, right? We've shook off beliefs, right? We don't believe.
No.
Beliefs.
It's not really belief, it's demonstrable.
Beliefs will lead you to
Nice.
think a man's
Nice.
flying around Earth in a little tin can. That's what a
nice.
belief.
I
will do.
gave you I gave you one of the factors involved. Okay, you didn't listen to the rest. You were too busy scrambling for answers as to why my first indication was wrong. Okay, so just stop talking and listen. All right.
I would like to,
All right.
just,
Good.
address you on
You're
your
not doing that.
temperature thing.
Then stop
So I
talking.
think
Nice,
Listen.
nice. Let him finish his point, then you can rebut.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
So
I
we
just
know
want to
the
say, Soph,
temperature reduces. Go ahead.
I think it might be easier if we show, if once Nico, once he's explained it, rather keep quiet quickly, then we can show this quickly. I want to show a quick clip here, and then you'll understand easier what Soph's trying to say. Okay, is that fine?
Dispersal area, temperature, and composition of the mixture are 3 factors involved. Okay, those are all 3 things that we witness, we observe, and will cause pressure to decrease. All right, there's no evidence whatsoever of gravity pulling air or anything for that matter. So the whole myth of mass attracting mass, that's garbage. Nobody's ever observed that.
No.
So to claim that a volume of air has mass, okay, well, if you want it to, it does. Cool. Prove that gravity is affecting it. All right, now go ahead.
Great. I just want to say thank you, Roger Little, for your $2 super chat. He says, containment, you guppy. Thank you very much.
All
You
right.
rock, Roger. Okay, pay attention to what the guy's going to say here.
What this basically says in a nutshell is that if I just let any system just evolve or just continue doing what its thing without any outside stimulus, as time goes on, all systems in the real world tend to have greater disorder over time. And let me show you what I mean by that. If I have a box here,
A box.
like this, and I divide it in half. So I have like a cork, like a stopper in the middle. And on the left-hand side, I have a gas, which fills the whole container. So this is a gas. So it's at some temperature or whatever. I don't have any flame or anything. I just have a gas there. And then what happens is I go and I have another state after I remove that cork. What do you think is going to happen? So here I have this. Here, all of the gas is on one side. Then I pop that thing out. What's going to happen? You all know intuitively what's going to happen is, yeah, the gas will be over here, but it will spread to completely and totally fill the other side of this container. And it's going to do that. It's not really by magic. It's because of the gas collisions happening, all the atoms bouncing off of each other. But you know that over time, maybe it takes 1 minute, maybe it takes 10 minutes, but it's going to spontaneously expand to fill that larger volume.
Amen.
It's why you can't have an open and closed system all at once. That's like having dehydrated water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like Flatzoid opening his can of Coke. I mean, the gas will go out there because it's under more pressure.
Right.
And
Right.
Earth is under more pressure than space, quote unquote.
It don't.
Okay, so
Space.
and then Sov, you said about the changing in temperature.
Mhm.
How much are we expecting the pressure to change based on the amount of temperature change?
Well, that's also going to depend on the factors involved with the composition. If you refer to Dalton's law, and
It's just
each
one.
different gas component within the mixture behaves slightly differently than the others due to these, but in the same manner. But the pressure decreases not exactly at the same with each one of these mixtures. And of course, Dalton's law says that the sum pressure is all of the pressures of each of the components within the mixture added together.
So
You must.
if you had to go 5 kilos up into the sky,
Mm-hmm.
There's less
and
gas.
you take a box that's empty and you fill it up with whatever molecules is up 5 kilos up,
Mm-hmm.
and you match it against that law that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and you match it against, and you do some tests on it, and you add some, maybe a little bit of heat, how much you would expect at that altitude, and perhaps you change the, look at the air molecules and
You can do it in a cylinder. Nice. They've done it in a cylinder. There's an experiment.
and
where
does
they've
it
got a
match
series
the
of pressure
altitude and the
gauges.
pressure that you have at that altitude?
Right. They've got a series of pressure gauges along the cylinder, At one end, they're using a flame. At the other end, they've got it sitting in an ice bucket, kind of the opposite of what we've got here on Earth. But he's got the cold down at the bottom and the heat.
You want me
up
to
at the
show it?
top.
So-
Yeah,
No, I've seen
and
it.
it shows that there is actually a pressure gradient. We also lose components too. Like one major component that we lose is water vapor.
But my argument with the flame thing against the gas bottle. I mean, how hot is that flame?
It doesn't matter. The heat's at the bottom, the cold's at the top. It causes a gradient within the
Yeah,
cylinder.
but you don't find that temperature gas at say 5 kilos up.
How do you know?
So your
What do you-
gas
what's up at five?
gradient.
Tell me what is up at 5 kilometers high. What is up there? What's the
It's
component?
besides
next to
the point. What I'm trying to
it? No,
say
it's not,
that
because
you're
you brought it
testing
into
a
it.
pressure change when you're applying a flame to it. You don't find a flame at that
Okay.
altitude where
I
you're expecting
understand
the gas
that.
to be the
this
pressure
is
to be
why-
higher.
Listen, this is
1
why
minute,
you
it
do
weren't
the
to
way you
flame,
do.
it were an hot air gun.
This is what the reason. You have to provide a warm source and a cold source. That's the point. Two extremes with gas in between. Warm, cold, right? Also, you have to look at where are the gases on Earth produced? Where do they come from? Where do you think they come from? From the Earth itself and the organisms that dwell there. So consequently, where's the highest concentration of gases going to be? At the source.
Yeah, but that then goes against your point that the gas goes in every direction, which
No,
means
it
as
doesn't, because
regardless
it's
of
all
where the
subject-
gas is created, it
It's
should be
all
the same pressure wherever you are.
It's all subject to dispersal.
The fact that gas goes in every direction debunks your claim of gravity, mate.
No, it debunks your claim because there is an observable pressure gradient. And if you're saying that the gas is created on the floor,
agree. Now,
then
prove
yes,
it.
you'll have the higher
All right.
pressure all over because the gas is
All right.
dispersing.
Very good. Nice. Now, you just claimed that gravity is causing a pressure gradient. I
didn't
you to
mention the word
all right,
gravity at all.
You did. You said that that's why we have a pressure gradient.
No,
You
I
said
said
that's why
there's
we
a
have a
downward bias even in gas.
So that's due to gravity then. That's what you're claiming.
I said there's a downward bias even in
Can you
gas.
prove that there's a
And you guys
downward
can't
bias?
explain the gradient.
No.
I
Prove
can.
that there's a downward bias of gas.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to quickly, before he does it, I just want to say, remember the higher you go up, there's less gas.
Mm-hmm.
You have intertwined effects with temperature, amount of gas, that would be volume, and the pressure itself.
You're still not
Okay.
answering why there's less gas.
That is, if there, let's put it in a very simple manner. If you have less gas in a larger container, will the pressure be the same as that same amount of gas in a smaller container?
1 pound of pressure per square inch is the same, doesn't matter what size of container it is.
If I have 5 molecules of gas in a 10-kilometer sized container, and I have 5 molecules of gas in a 5-centimeter sized container, will the pressure be the same?
No.
No.
Great. So the amount of gas determines pressure. Okay. Now,
You're still
if
not
I
telling
had
me
to
why
heat-
there's less gas.
If I had to heat up both those containers with the same amount of heat, will the pressures change in both containers?
Yes.
But less in the one that's larger, correct?
Yes.
Because of the volume. Now, on Earth, when the higher you go up, there's less bombardment, there's less molecules to hit, less surfaces. So will
You're
there be
contradicting
higher
yourself,
pressure?
Flatzoid.
Would there be higher pressure?
No, he's not.
You're contradicting yourself.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Gas,
The
gas,
higher
Your
you
first
go up,
statement is
there's more area to fill. The higher you go up, there's less gas to hit because most of the gas is at the bottom where it's produced. And when gas heats up, it rises. When gas cools down,
not only is gas produced at surface, but there's us and buildings and cars and mountains and trees and all kinds of shit for that gas to bounce off, so it don't get as high up in atmosphere.
yeah, but you've got no way of saying in which direction that gas is bouncing off.
yes,
But you're
Bounces in
still
all
contradicting
directions.
yourself.
directions.
Bounces in all directions.
Exactly. So it will go up as well.
I want to quickly show
But
you a
there's
video.
other thing, right? There's other things for it to bounce off before it goes in high up into the sky.
Yeah, and it will go up as well.
You know, like gas is bouncing off things, it's bouncing off each other, it's all bouncing about at low level.
But you're
That's
still
where it gets
contradicting
later.
yourself.
But when
You
it
are
gets,
saying
I
that
can show it.
gas
I've got a
goes
demonstration.
in any direction.
you're off your head, mate. It goes in every direction, but it's
It
produced
goes in
at
every
surface
direction. That's
level.
exactly why you say it.
So
So
you think
if you fill up
so
a
you think
gas
that
tank,
when it,
a scuba dive tank, just give me a second quickly. If you fill a scuba dive tank, a scuba tank, right? Whether you fill it from the top, the bottom, doesn't matter. It's got the same pressure everywhere, right? Because the gas is dispersing. Am I right?
All right, watch this. I want to show you two things right here.
are
It's
all,
easily
are
demonstrated.
all gas molecules when they disperse all going in?
No, guys, you can't.
Right,
You can't put that thing on the TV
shut up and
when you're
watch.
claiming CGI for photos from space.
He's explaining to
Gary,
you
hold on
the
here.
gas
Don't get your
behavior.
panties in a wad. They're nice. I'm going to show you something. This is a demonstration as to what he said. Same volume of gas. We haven't added any other gases to this yet, right? It's right there. You see the pressure gauge. Watch what happens when I reduce the size with the same amount of gas. Watch what happens to the pressure gauge. Oh my God, it went up. Holy crap. It went up. It went up again when I reduced the size. Same amount of
Yeah,
gas.
we're not arguing that.
All right. Now, watch what happens when I introduce another gas. And I want you to see how the dispersal rate works. Now, we're going to put a little bit more of this blue in here. Let it get all around. Now, watch. We're going to put a couple pumps of this red in here. And notice it stays concentrated down here, but gradually little bits of it start going here. Pretend this is down over here and this is up over here on the left. Do you see where at the source there's a higher concentration of the red, but it's slowly dispersing up into the rest of it, isn't it? Isn't it? Put a little more.
Yeah, it does. It's obvious.
You see,
You're
there's a
contradicting
more
yourself
right
here.
there. So consequently, if near the pump, the source, there's a higher concentration, and through the dispersal, we see that this starts to
it evens out.
It starts to, but we haven't even added heat. Notice how the red ones react much more excitedly than the blue ones, the lighter gases. They start getting more excited than the other.
Yeah,
or
so
if we cool it
you
down.
just said it. So why does gas increase in pressure when you heat it?
Because it gives more excitement.
Kinetic energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not kinetic energy. It's because it gets more excited.
Right.
No, kinetic energy. More excitement.
Yeah.
It moves faster. That's what
Yeah.
kinetic energy is.
Because you're
Movement.
exciting it more, then it gives it more kinetic energy. 100%
Kinetic
correct.
energy, yeah.
Notice what
Okay.
happened.
What happens?
Pressure went up.
What happens when?
All right. So no, hold
What
on.
happens
Hold
when
on.
something moves
So
and it cools down? It loses kinetic
So-
energy.
so let's use this. So you're sitting at on Earth on ground level, and gas is being created by all these other areas and systems that creates gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got vehicles that motors are running at 60 degrees Celsius. You've got the sun burning the tar roads at some places on, good couple of degrees, 30, 40 degrees Celsius in some areas. So you've got quite a bit of heat on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't take all the gas that you're saying is now on the ground, and it should disperse it, creating your pressure gradient to fall away.
No,
Okay.
because you've still got the factors of temperature, which you're always looking for just one singular cause. You don't understand it as a cocktail involved here, a dynamic working system.
It's debunked.
I 100% agree with you. So I'm not denying that there is a dynamic system and it's all over the place.
Well, then what's
But
causing the
with
gradient?
the little changes of temperatures, and it's not a decline in temperature from ground level up to 15,000 meters.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And there's some areas where the temperature actually goes up.
I just want to play maybe I think it's a minute of this video quickly.
Mate, right, this guy's debunked his own claim several times.
I know, but I think it's the cognitive dissonance that's keeping him from understanding. I'm just going to play a minute quickly. See if you understand what's being said here.
but we know that going up a mountain, the air becomes thinner.
Everybody knows that it's colder up in the mountains than it is down below, and the difference can be quite substantial. Now, to understand why this change in temperature happens, we need to understand a little bit about gases.
In order to study the relationship between pressure and temperature, we will heat up a gas which is enclosed in a tight container. While we are heating the gas in the container using a burner, we can see that with the increase in temperature, the pressure of the gas also increases. And when we cool the enclosed gas, we can observe an obvious decrease in its pressure.
Now, when gases are compressed, they heat up. And when gases expand, they cool down. When the gas is compressed, it's going into high pressure and getting hot. And when it's being expanded, it's going into low pressure and getting cold. So the gas starts out at a certain temperature, and as it goes up to low pressure, it's being expanded and getting colder.
It becomes less pressurized. People have to take oxygen up Everest.
It's 2
You
cylinders.
understand what was being said there?
Yeah, but I mean, you've got low pressure even if you're not on a mountain.
And wait a minute.
So then, what would be your explanation for a temperature gradient, or for a pressure gradient?
Well, let me put it in this English. There's a downward bias to even gas molecules.
Can you demonstrate this using a repeatable, demonstrable experiment that shows that gas is subject to a downward bias, other than just hypothesizing that to be the cause of the gradient?
And also, when does this gas that move in all directions, elastic collisions, all of a sudden decide that it's going to just deny what it's meant to do and start going down?
Well,
Yeah,
I've
look-
got another question though. I mean, do you know what the densest gas is?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, let's just take S6, okay? Sulfur hexafluoride. Now, let's say it's very dense. Do you know why it still needs to be contained, even though it's one of the densest gases you can get? SF6.
I'm all ears. You can explain.
Because gas moves in all directions constantly. There is no downward bias. The denser the gas, the longer it takes to succumb to entropy, okay? So even if you have the densest gas in the world, it still has to be contained because it will fill the available volume around it.
So if you take that densest gas that you're talking about and you put it in a container, right?
Mhm.
Will it be the same pressure all over?
If it's sealed.
So are you saying there would be the same pressure all over?
If it's sealed.
Okay. Then you're debunking your own downward,
No.
your own pressure gradient.
No.
No. How big is the container?
Because you are saying that we are in a container.
How big
Well,
is the container?
But you're
It's
denying-
regardless of the size of the container,
No.
Flatzoid.
Remember earlier I asked you, do you know the difference between a small container and a large container?
The guy's denying a temperature input.
Yeah, and the difference in their Flatzoid was the amount of gas in there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if I
so
take
we are on a
again,
very
we
big
take-
planet.
if
There's
we
a
take-
lot of gas.
Is our Earth a large area?
We're
You
not
see,
on a-
then there's a lot of gas.
So
Yeah,
if, let's
but
say
that's
we
the
take
point.
100, let's just say
I
we
don't
take
think
100
he
molecules.
understands. I don't think he understands.
No.
Gases are unbonded molecules. They don't bond to one another. So they're not a cohesive mass. They're independent. They're each independent. In order to
Yes,
have,
and it disperses all over.
that's right. And in order,
Yes.
and if you without containment, it would continue to disperse all over, and we would not be having
Yeah.
this conversation.
So what causes gas to deny that natural law?
But what you guys are saying that Earth is contained, it's in a container. Am I right in saying that?
It has to be.
Yeah,
There's no
it has
other
to
way
be.
to have
Yes.
a volume of
Can-
gas.
Can we more focus on what you claim that makes this gas have a downward bias? What causes this natural law not to take effect anymore? That's what I want to know.
That's right.
But it is a natural law. I'm saying there's a downward bias even on gas molecules.
They can't
You
Can
are
you
saying
prove
can't
that?
that gas is dispersing all over the place,
It
but yet
is.
you've got a
You
pressure
prove a
gradient.
downward
just
bias.
said
How can
gas
it be?
goes in all
How can it be
directions.
going everywhere but being going down too?
No, it
That's
can't.
dumb.
That's stupid.
It's
Also, that means
contradictory.
that would also mean that any gas made at ground level would not get anywhere because of that downward bias. It'd just stay where it is.
That's right.
So, what is stopping this gas acting under natural
I don't know.
law?
You tell me. You're saying that
You're
gas
the one making the
doesn't
claim, mate.
have a
Claim it has
downward
a downward
bias.
bias. Not me.
No, but Sov, listen to me quickly. You're saying gas doesn't have a downward bias and it disperses all over the place. And you're saying that Earth is contained within a container, whatever that container is.
That's
But
right.
yet we've got a pressure gradient.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna. Oh, man, I've
Yeah,
never
I'm
seen
Absolutely.
gradient
And
and
I
pressure without
explained you.
pressure in first instance,
What-
mate. That proves your container. You debunked again. What causes gas to go down, go boom, boom, mate? Come on, we're all waiting because this is getting tedious.
That's good.
I don't know. I think that is for you guys to explain because
That's for you to
gas
explain because
disperses
that's
all
your
over
claim, mate.
and
You
it's in
claim
a
gas goes
container,
down.
but
You-
you've got a gradient.
You claim gas goes down. That goes against all natural law. That's your claim. You prove what. You
Okay, so
prove
explain
gas
to me
going
your
down.
claim. Explain your
I
version
ain't
of
got
why
one,
there
mate.
is the gradient.
I ain't got
Okay.
one. You've come
You're
in.
claiming you're the one
Claims,
who
mate.
claim.
You claim gas goes down. You show how gas can go down. Simple as
But
that.
it's observed.
Where? Where?
Are you saying there's no gradient?
Are you off your head?
Wow.
I'm saying, show me gas going down.
I'm saying explain to me the gradient.
You need
Okay.
pressure in order to
Okay,
have a
I'm going to
gradient.
explain quickly again. Roger, Little, thank you for $2 super chat. Says it's volume and show us your planet. Thank you very much for your super chat. Yeah, it would be
Yes,
great.
it's volume, and 100% agree with him, Flatzoid. It's
Thank you very
volume.
much.
And
But in
it's
your model, the
temperature.
volume will be the same pressure all over.
No model, no
No.
model, reality. We don't live in a model. Okay,
You've
can
got
you
an
see my
heat
screen?
source. You've got an heat source constantly moving round Earth, constantly
Can
eating
you see
up
my?
gas, and then gas cools down, and eating up gas, and gas cools down all over Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the universe here?
All right.
Great, great, great. Now we're going to stick a planet that you want to call inside. This would be Earth, okay? Inside the universe.
You're running away, Flatzoid.
No, no, no. I'm explaining to you.
Wait 1 second. How can a man be running away when he's sat on a chair in front of a camera on a live stream doing a diagram, mate? You're off your rocker.
Why is he talking about planets and the universe? I'm just
Because-
asking why there's a
Because it's
gradient.
based on your claim.
But why don't you listen?
Flatzoid, I'm
Find
gonna
out.
I'm gonna give you some advice. Boot this clown because he's a knob.
Yeah. Why
No, 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 it's okay. I think it's the cognitive dissonance. That's all. The guys.
You guys aren't able to explain your gradients and the same thing that you guys
I
are saying every
literally
day.
explained it to
What
you.
you're saying
I'm gonna
doesn't
explain
make
it to you
sense, and you're
again.
calling it my fault. It's my mistake. I don't
No,
understand.
no, Nico.
I don't know. I
explained-
think you've got to understanding cognitive dissonance.
Okay, must I explain it to you using equation PVR NRT? PV
What's
equals
it in?
NRT. Should I use the ideal gas law explaining it to you?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, then would you listen to what I'm trying to show you on screen then? Because it's exactly what I'm trying to do. Yeah. You got your universe, you got your Earth, and we're going to say your Earth, we're going to say it just has 5 molecules of gas. Okay? Or let's make them different. Smaller ones. And we've got bigger ones and even bigger. Just, just giving the different size of gas. Now, what did we learn through what it says through the laws of entropy? The gas fills the available space, correct, Nico?
Correct.
Okay, so the second law of thermodynamics states that the universe entropy will always increase to fill the available space. So all this gas will eventually move out of the Earth system in all directions, because gas moves in all directions, to fill up the universe. The ones with that is less dense is going to have more kinetic energy because it takes less energy to move than the ones that have larger mass, okay? More dense, arrow of time takes longer to disperse, less dense, array of time takes quicker to disperse. You with me yet?
I'm with you.
Okay. Now, what happens if we add temperature? I'm going to make it simple, even like this. Let's take that purple one. I'm going to say this is the dense gas, and we're going to make a less dense gas, and we're going to give them the same amount of temperature. Okay? Let's just give a unit of 1, just for the heck of it, for simplicity. Will that unit of 1 cause this one with a larger mass to move as fast as the smaller one with less mass?
Yeah.
No, it will move slower.
Great. So in other words, the one that's less dense will move quicker out of its to its equilibrium point than the one that's slower to its equilibrium point. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, great. So now we can draw this as, let me just remove all this because I just had to lay that groundwork quickly. Now we can put the ground of Earth, and we're going to have some mountains and buildings and rocks and whatever, just all shits and giggles. We're just saying, and there's trees and everything down there.
People, trees,
rocks,
dogs,
and whatever.
Cats.
Yeah. Now we got the denser gases, and we got the less dense gases. Remember, like Sov was showing you the mixture of the two gases. They're all bumping into each other constantly in all directions all the time. Now, remember the same amount of heat coming from the sun. Okay, the sun's heat is coming. It's busy heating them up. They get the same amount of heat, both these two different dense gas. Remember we said the one will move faster than the other one. And they're bumping into each other constantly, bumping into the ground, bumping into the rock, bumping into the mountain, bumping into that mountain, bumping into more gas, and then bumping back down and whatever. Would you understand that now this concentration here would, let's say, has, now for simplicity's sake again, 100, we're just going to give it a unit of 100 molecules, okay? Molecules, yeah. Now, when you get a bit higher, because remember, they're still competing to move around the space, okay? So the denser gases are still lower than those less dense gases. They're still hitting around. So a few of them have escaped now to this area. Now we're going to say there's about 50 moles of gas, high altitude. And what happens when we said gases move? They cool down. So they're moving slower. Okay? So some of these gases are getting hit with ones that have more energy. Remember, gases have what we call elastic conditions.
I know, I said.
So then they're going to go back down. And some are going to escape even a bit higher. So we go now, and we can say 20 have escaped. Do you see what's going on here?
I do, but I don't think that the 150 and 20 is necessarily accurate, because you've got no control over the direction of where the gas is bouncing onto.
Yeah, this is very rough. Now we're going to do the PV NRT for you. PV equals NRT. I'm like trying to make this as simple as I possibly can for you guys. Okay. So, do you know what the P stands for?
I presume pressure, but I might be mistaken.
Pressure, yeah. And what does V stand for?
Volume, I guess.
Volume equals?
I'm not sure what N is.
Sorry, coming up.
Have you gone mute? Flats, are you muted?
Yes, I'm muted.
Is everybody muted?
I'm muted.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
No, I only muted because I got company and I don't want everybody to hear what I'm saying.
I could see
Sorry,
Flat's
I just-
talking and
No, I'm here. I'm
N
here.
is
Sorry.
the number of
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, N is the number, R is the gas constant, and T is temperature. Okay, so now we have to look at putting that in what we just explained very much. Let's say at the bottom we got pressure of 14.7 psi. That's what we now measure at ground. You would agree?
Yep.
Sure.
Now we're climbing up the mountain and we are reading a temperature, a pressure now of 6 pounds per square inch. So you would understand, based on this, the pressure has dropped, the volume has risen, because there's more volume to fill higher up. There's less to hit, less surface area.
Yeah, I don't know if I will agree with it.
Okay. Then the amount of gas has also dropped because there's less gas higher up. Okay. And then it has a gas constant, which is based on Avogadro's law. And the temperature has dropped now too. You understand? So now remember when you said earlier, well, sometimes you get up and the temperature rises again. Let's say you've risen to the stratosphere there, and now we've only got 5 moles there, and it has now heated up. Remember, you've only got that amount of gas. So the pressure is still much larger volume to fill with only that 5 moles of gas, which is now just moving faster in all directions. And it's taking longer to have a collision. So therefore, it's going to take long. It's going to go there until it hits a gas here and decides to pop up somewhere else. Some of them are escaping into wherever until it finally gets a collision again. And all this is explained because it's a dynamic system. Now you have wind currents helping push gas in some directions. You have the heat changing. You have so many things. This is why we have weather systems like storms and stuff. Now, can I tell you something very important about all this? None of this would exist if we didn't have containment. Because if we didn't have the containment, the pressure gradient would not exist because all the gas would just fill the available space and never return.
I get you, guys. I get you.
There we go.
I'll
make it as simple as I
commend you
could.
on that because that were a right good diagram and explanation. It was well worth listening to.
I had to make it as simple as I
It's
could.
hard to understand. Like I really don't.
Yeah, if you're saying that the gas will disperse to fill the available space, then it will disperse to fill the available container that you just said that
And
whatever
that's what it
you
is.
just explained won't exist without that container.
That's right.
But part of your explanation was the pressures at different altitudes, and you're saying that when there is collisions at higher altitudes, the collisions is less because there's less molecules. But I think the question that I'm asking is, why is there less molecules?
I just explained
What you explained to me, it didn't explain at all why there is less pressure at high altitudes.
Okay,
You
do
said
you-
there is less pressure at high altitudes, and that would explain the collisions that's less and all the type of jargon. But your larger
explain
molecule
that.
will still fill the available space,
do you get wait,
given
do
the
you,
enough time.
do you get I'm trying to think of a nice
I'm not up,
CO2.
Mike
Do you
and
get
Jeff. I want to talk.
Sorry, do you get CO2 at 10 kilometers up?
That's
No.
not my Mike making that noise, by the way, either.
No, I don't know whose it is.
It's somebody like Ryan.
Yeah, but okay, before you answer, I just want to say thank you, Godzilla, for your $5 super chat. He says, need X gas pressure before delta change in gradients. Gas pressure requires containment volume. Get it? Yeah. No containment, no gas pressure. No pressure gradient. Thank you very much. You rock. Really appreciate the super chat, man. But you understand what's going on, Nico?
Yeah, I don't really understand what you're saying.
It's-
You're not
it's-
explaining to me
I'm-
the
I'm
gradient.
sorry.
It doesn't make sense what
I'm
you're
listening
saying to me. So
I'm
I don't
listening
know.
to this, and it reminds me of like I'm saying, geez, honey, that meatloaf sure had a lot of garlic taste to it. Was it so garlicky? And she says, I probably used more garlic than I should have. And I say, yeah, but why was it so garlicky? I mean, that's what I'm seeing going on here. I don't understand what you're not getting about these various
Can I
factors
comment?
working in conjunction with one another. I mean, it's kind of like making mixed drinks. Holy crap, who is doing that?
Wow.
Right. Can I just quickly comment, Dev? Right.
Where is that coming from?
Dev, you showed that gas diagram thing, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how he's drawn it, right? How on earth can you think that gas, right, is produced in one place and it's bouncing all out, hitting each other, hitting other things? Why would you think that, like, not small amounts get higher, so therefore there's less pressure?
Yeah.
That's why you have a gradient. I don't understand what's hard to get. Like, it's like school level understanding this, man. It's crazy.
Well, here's what gets me, right? Well, explain holy shit, who is doing that?
That was Ryan. Dude.
Oh my
Okay, I muted him. Did he go on?
Ryan.
They ask you to explain the gradient. You explain all the factors that are involved for there being a pressure gradient. They say no. And then you ask them what is the reason for it. They'll give you either gravity or, in this case, a downward bias. And it's like, okay, well, can you show me this downward bias? Well, the gradient. No, stop doing that. Can you show me gas having a downward bias for any reason other than temperature and composite? I mean, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you're not understanding about this. It's kind of blowing my mind.
I don't like to do this, Dave, right? But right, I'm going to
know that
define his.
temperature decreases or increases. Temperature affects pressure.
Yeah,
Composition of mixture affects pressure.
Right, I'm going to divine
Area
his,
of dispersal affects pressure.
Dev, I'm going to divine his motivations because
Tommy,
it's been going on
so
so long.
if we go over the North Pole,
Wait, nice, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Michael.
He has a belief in space, right? He's been indoctrinated into it. He's had it all his life, and it's stopping him understanding what's happening in reality. He just can't accept it. No matter what we tell him, he's going to believe in space, no matter what.
no, but your explanations doesn't make sense.
But you believe in space and you want it to be real, mate, and you're not going
No,
to.
I don't really want it to be real at all. I'm just, I mean, got no reason to deny it. But
Well,
I mean,
then
I don't really
what
want to
is
talk
your
about space.
plausible- what is
I
your
just don't
plausible-
understand your pressure gradient argument.
Okay, well, what is your argument to it, and what proof do you have? What demonstrable experimentation can you show that would show a downward bias for any reason? You know, whether you say it's electrostatics or whether you say it's gravity, I don't care. What's your explanation for the gradient that you can
Well, I'm a
actually
glober,
prove?
so I've got no problem to say it's gravity.
Okay. So then I would ask you to show demonstrable proof that gravity has any effect on a gas.
Well, theoretically, gas has got
gonna
mass,
point
which means it would have
I didn't
an
say
effective force.
theoretically. I said demonstrable. Something you can show, something that we can do, a repeatable experiment that would show that air has a downward bias due to gravity, for instance. And just repeating the myth of mass attracting mass is not good enough.
No.
But Sav is going to point to mountain.
No, no, no. Experiment, not an observation, an experiment. Where we can rule out any other cause, everything else, and you can show air falling down and go boom.
I think perhaps not a bad idea, and I don't have the tools or the equipment to do this, but if you take 14 pounds per square inch of whatever we have around us,
right,
and
that's not
you
weight.
take it
Hold on.
10,000 feet
Do
up.
you think that's weight, Nico? Do you think 14.7 psi is weight?
No, it's pressure.
Right.
But
And what is pressure caused by?
if you take
What
if
is
you take
pressure?
a box,
What causes
don't
pressure?
pressurize it.
Why is there pressure?
Is it?
Why is pressure
Right.
on my body? Why is there pressure on my body?
And listen to what I'm wanting to say.
Wait, just answer me. Why is there pressure on my body, pushing in on my body in all directions? What is causing that?
Well, if a measuring tool measures at ground level 14 pounds per square inch, then there's 14 pounds of pressure on it.
Right. Why?
Well, like I say, I'm a glober, so I'm easy to say it's gravity.
Okay, it's not, because that would mean that there was 14.7 pounds pushing down on me. But instead, the 14.7 is pushing in on me in all directions.
Yes.
Okay, that's because I'm displacing it. Now,
No, but
listen,
hear what I wanted
hold
to
on,
say.
listen. The only way of pressure to be caused on a body displacing it, the medium, is if that medium is restricted, which means containment. If the medium is not restricted, my displacement of it will not cause any pressure upon me. I will point to the instance of a fog, for instance. Okay, a fog. If you walk into it, you don't feel any more pressure on your body, even though there's a lot more material in the air. Right? Why? Because it wasn't contained. You displaced it. It moved out of the way. It was free to go. All right. But if it's restricted, it's going to cause pressure on your body. This is why you feel pressure in a swimming pool, but not from a rainfall.
Yeah, that's
Real
obvious.
simple. It has to be a contained volume of fluid in order for you to feel pressure from its displacement.
Look, so, I understand where you coming from, and I understand what you're trying to say. But your whole argument and your whole explanation about why there's a pressure gradient just doesn't make sense, because it comes down
Give
to
me
the
one that
first thing
does
you
make
said.
sense.
Your
Give me
gas
one that.
disperses in all directions.
Okay, then give me one that does make sense.
Well, I don't know. What you're telling me doesn't make sense. Flatzoid's demonstration doesn't make sense.
But wait a second. We can prove that temperature reduces pressure. We can prove that dispersal area can cause a change in pressure. We've shown all of these things. These are demonstrably true factors, right? Your claim is gravity, which you can't demonstrate. You can't show air having any downward bias due to it other than your hypothesis of what's causing the gradient. So you're thinking in circles. So you say that makes sense, but where I've shown you factors that are demonstrable and real and do have the effect on the gas, you just hand wave dismiss it? What?
I don't dismiss it. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but whilst also saying what we're saying is don't make sense, you're claiming gravity is affected by something that's not a force, and it's got a downward bias, which is also it don't make
What
sense.
I'm saying is, what you guys are explaining to me as the reasons for the gradient.
Wait, just let me finish up, right? The very statement that gas moves in all directions, elastic collisions, disproves any notion that it has a downward bias or moves down. Like what you're saying goes against what gas laws state. You're going to have to demonstrate this, mate. Not keep telling us it don't make sense. Not keep
Sorry,
arguing.
I don't understand. You're saying that I'm saying that gas
No, wait,
disperses in all directions.
I'm finished,
Yes.
man. You need to fetch a demonstration, otherwise we're just going to be going round in circles, right? We can demonstrate what we claim. You need to demonstrate what you claim, mate. Otherwise, this is just a shit show, going round in circles and
So,
circles.
Nico,
I
have
hear
you
you.
ever heard? Have you ever heard this right here? You said, well, you haven't explained the gradient and how it can occur, the gradient in this, and we have several times. And so I'm just going to leave it at this: that we're only responsible for what we say, not for what you don't understand. I would encourage you to look more into gas behavior and basic gas laws, and not just jump on this idea that gravity is pulling air to the earth. Where have you ever seen air being pulled down? Do you feel air pushing down on you or
So
anything? No.
equally then, Sov, I hear what you're saying and I respect that and I'll take it.
Mhm.
But equally then, you can't then say gas disperses in all directions.
I
You
can say
can't
that.
then say
I
that
can
some
say that.
gases move faster and some gases move slower, depending
can
on the
say
temperature and so on that's applied to it.
I can say that. I can say that different gases behave differently with the same amount of temperature. That the lighter gases will react in a faster manner than the denser gases. Absolutely,
Mm.
I can demonstrate this shit all day long. Okay,
But if
you know
you,
what you can't demonstrate? You can't demonstrate a downward bias of air, other than your ridiculous hypothesis of gravity
but
causing
if, if,
gradient.
if you tell me, Sov, that I've got gas, there's gas around us, it's being created on ground level,
Yeah.
and it disperses in all directions. And
Correct.
we've got temperatures applied to it. And
Mhm.
we've got all types of other gas molecules and different types of gas react differently to pressure.
Mhm.
All those type of things you explained to me. That's fine,
Mhm.
right? But give it
Mhm.
enough time, and that's exactly the same thing that you showed in that example that you had in that animation of yours. You had gas, and you reduced the size of the container, and the
Mhm.
pressure was high. Great to understand that.
Which was in controversy to your statement that changing the size of the container with the same amount of gas and it would not affect the pressure. Okay, that's the whole reason I brought
No.
that up to begin with.
What Flatzoid asked me, he said, if I've got a container and the one container had 3 molecules and the other one had 5 molecules of gas in it, which one had the high pressure? Obviously, the one with the 5 molecules.
Depends on the
That was
volume.
the question.
Depends on the volume, though.
Yes.
Size of the
So,
container.
so then the Sov went in his demonstration and he said, okay, fine, let's add, what was that red ball
Yeah, it was
that you
a lighter
added in
gas.
there?
It was a lighter gas. It was another
It was a
gas
lighter
put
gas.
into it.
Okay. Yes,
We
in the
could do it
beginning,
the
when you
other way.
added the
We could do
gas,
it the
it
other way.
was floating around the bottom. Give it enough time, and we already saw, and you mentioned it, that it started to disperse all over the container. It was
That's
everywhere.
because, hold on, we weren't heating and cooling various portions of the container.
Well,
We were
whether
only
you're heating it or
listen, hold
cooling
on.
it,
See, there's your problem. You don't listen. You're too busy trying to figure out what you're going to say. All right. Now, do you understand that in the dynamic system of the earth, that we have continuous fluctuations of temperature everywhere at all times? This is
what
what
would your take on the result of that be on the gas?
What?
If we've got gas all over, and we've got gas dispersing in all directions all the time, larger molecules takes longer, smaller molecules takes quicker. You've got things that it bounces on, and you've got heat here and cold there, and you've got a dynamic system everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be the result be of a system like that?
Exactly what you see around you every day. That would be
I
the
think
result of it.
what logically, if I listen to your explanation and to your reasoning around why things happen,
Those aren't
it will
reasoning.
mean
Hold on. You're acting like these are hypotheses. Everything that I've told you is factual. Everything that I've told you is demonstrable. These are not my opinions on how gas behaves. These are
What
not
I'm
my.
saying, so
These are how gas
yeah,
laws
just listen to
work.
what I'm trying to say, then I'm done. What I'm saying is, what you demonstrated in your model and what Flatzoid demonstrated in his picture, and how you guys are explaining what these things are supposed to do, logically, it doesn't add up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nico, listen, I haven't said much, but listen, you're the one that keeps interrupting and you keep asking for, oh, just hold down, can I finish? But you won't let anybody else finish, dude. You're overpowering everybody.
Yeah, PJ, I think you've lost the plot there. But you just, what you're explaining to me, Sov, and Flatzoid, what you've explained to me, and what your reasoning is, and your gas directions and how it bounces, if I had to take all that calculations and all that things happening, the result would be gas all over the place.
Mate,
Not in certain areas of the container.
Just quickly, right? You tell PJ's lost plot, mate. You believe that things are in this fake place that defies natural law, mate. Don't ever tell anybody they've lost plot, mate.
Rejection, dude.
Your belief is.
Yeah, you're not really part of the conversation. I mean, come on, that's not part of the argument at all. I'm trying to make my final statement, and I'm trying to tell you guys why I can't understand what you're selling me. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, who are you talking about, mate?
Who does he think he is?
Yeah, exactly. What
who do you think
you are? I'm telling you now.
You want to tell people they've lost plot, right? While you think space is real, mate. You ain't coming here telling people they've
Yeah,
lost
listen,
plot.
dude. I'm trying to explain to you why Sob and Flatzoid's explanation of the gas pressures doesn't make sense, and you try and tell me that I can't say something because I believe in space, and PJ is saying that I'm over talking everybody. You know, come up, be with the conversation, dude. You're all over the place.
Everybody lets you talk when they've done, but you won't let people finish, right? You've overspot me 3 times now, right? When I'm done, I will let you respond to me. I've not been over talking you all night, so don't over talk me, right? Telling people that the lost plot, right? No, right? You believe in space, mate. That's the epitome of losing the plot. Right? Stop talking over people. Stop thinking you are better than people. Listen and just take your turn.
Well said.
Piece of shit.
You mess it.
Respect.
So, Sof, do you understand why I'm not grasping on what you're telling me? Do you understand my point of view?
No, I don't. I think that you have a hard time understanding how a dynamic system like the Earth actually works. I don't think you've taken the time to actually think it out. You've just grasped onto what you've been told without any kind of demonstrable proof or evidence. I mean, you've invoked the idea of mass attracting mass several times, and that's a myth, which has already been dispelled for 109 years with Einstein's principle of the bending and warping of space-time. But even if the myth of mass attracting mass were real, there has still never been any demonstrable evidence or proof that gravity has an effect on gases or is responsible for a pressure gradient whatsoever, because ideally, in order to have a pressure gradient, you must first have pressure. And in order to have a pressure of a gas, you must have containment of a physical nature. There is no way around that. And until someone can prove otherwise without a Narnia story about planetary gravity and all this other bullshit, that's another one. They always want to jump to the gas giants, right? Okay, Jupiter. How come those gases are never mixing together? And what gases are they that we can see these colors to them? How did they form together into a cohesive mass to begin with in order to have any gravity? When gas molecules are not bonded to one another. That's why those clouds should mix and not look like when you first pour creamer into your coffee.
Why is it
Eventually it disperses, right? That's
Dev,
what you're
Dev.
trying to say about gases, with that they all will disperse and everything and become one thing. Well, how come none of the clouds on Jupiter and shit are mixing together? How do you have this great red spot that's not pulled any of the other colored gases into it and mixed with it or anything else? This is all fantasy.
And Dev, why are the biggest planets in middle when the smaller planets closer to the sun and smaller ones further away?
Gravity.
They call them gas giants.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Roger Little, for your $2 super chat. It says phase change affects the gradients too. That is also very true. Phase change does change it. Thank you very much for your super chat. You rock, man. Okay, I got on screen. I don't know if I'm gonna be too technical now about it, because I try to dumb it down as much as I could. But okay, I'm gonna try again.
Just before you carry on, Flats, I'm getting off to bed.
Okay, but it was great having you on, man.
Nice talking to you, Nico. No offense, I don't, mate.
None taken. Sorry if I've overtaken.
No, like, but sometimes, like, you ballers get carried away, like, and you just need to chill.
Sometimes
God bless everybody.
all carried away.
Yeah, I know. God bless everybody. Anyway.
Cheers, man. Have a good night. Cheers, man. Good to see you. Yeah, guys, we can still go on a bit because it is weekend. So, okay. A lot of the time, I get the Globus telling me that the atmosphere doesn't use the. What the hell is that?
What is that?
What's going on? Stupid noises.
Okay. Anyway, and that's just not true, because we have things called meteorologists, and they use the ideal gas law to be able to work out the weather. And they use the ideal gas law for that.
Yo, Funky Cold, I unbanned you to show you a bit of mercy. Then you go and make a comment like a gas giant is PJ's wife. See, I'm having
Okay,
back.
then he can get taken out.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
You're going, dude.
Yeah,
You're
cheers.
an idiot.
What is wrong with these people, man?
There's something wrong with these guys, yeah.
I don't even know them, right? And they're insulting me. You are sad little people, right? If you've got nothing better to do than attack a woman, does it make you feel like a man because you sat in your mom's crusty basement? Go suck a doorknob.
Okay, we're going to carry on. Okay, so it says, gas laws. Understanding atmospheric thermodynamics begins with the gas laws that you learned in chemistry. Because these laws are so important, we will review them again here and put them in forms that are practically useful for atmospheric science. You will want to memorize these laws because they will be used again and again in many other areas of atmospheric science, including cloud physics, atmospheric structure, dynamics, radiation, boundary layer, and even forecasting. Okay? So, let's move on. The ideal gas law. I want the globies that claim ideal gas laws not used for the atmosphere to pay attention. The atmosphere is a mixture of gases that can be compressed, or expanded in a way that obeys the ideal gas law. Remember we said Dalton's law before that Sol brought up? Dalton's law is the sum numbers of all the gases put together. So in other words, you got a certain amount of nitrogen, a certain amount of CO2, a certain amount of oxygen. It's just saying the mixture of all those gases as their sum total to make the 14.7 psi. Okay? Now they use the ideal gas law for all these pressures in the atmosphere. So it says where P is the pressure, volume, like we went earlier. So usually in atmosphere, we do not know the exact volume of an air parcel or an air mass. Remember, this is just calculations based on certain parameters. To solve this problem, we can rewrite the ideal gas law in a different useful form as we divide N by V. That would be the number of moles by the volume, and then multiply the average mass per mole of air to get the mass's density. That's the equation. So they're doing it to get the mass's density, and they get the SI units based on that. Okay. So density is an incredibly important quantity in meteorology. Air that is more dense than its surroundings, often called environment, sinks. Why is that? Because it's denser. It can't be supported by the air around. While air that is less dense than its surrounding rises. Remember, less dense air moves faster than denser air that moves slower. Note that density depends on temperature, pressure, and the average molar mass of the air parcel. The average molar mass depends on the atmospheric composition and is just the sum of the mole fraction of each type of molecule times the molar mass of each molecule constituent. So then they go, we can't go through all this tonight, but it makes a point that you get your pressure gradient due to how gas behaves based on gas laws. I'm going to put the link in for you, Nico, in the private chat, because I think it might be something if you want to go look at more detail. It's going to make it easier to understand. And for everybody in the link as well. There we go. Because I think this might be a bit too, how can I put it, advanced maybe for you at the stage. Is that fine?
Sure. You put it in the private chat.
Yeah. I put in private chat. It's the education EDU meteorology link, and I put in for everybody there in the link as well.
I put a YouTube link in for a video on the ideal gas laws. So
yeah, I've got it. I'm going to quickly go to it. There we go. Oh, it's quite a long video though. IB physics, but we can probably go skim through it a bit.
Equals nRT. This lecture is assuming that you already know what an ideal gas is. It's a gas where all internal energy added goes into kinetic energy and thus changes the temperature. So internal energy and temperature are linearly related in an ideal gas. This definition is explained in a previous lecture that I've linked in the description. This lecture is specifically focused on this equation, PV equals nRT, which we call the ideal gas law because it's true for any and every ideal gas. This equation is always true if we're dealing with a gas where the only type of internal energy present is kinetic energy.
Yep. Okay, unfortunately, I can't just go through it all because just now I get struck or something. But if you want, I had also done a in-depth kind of presentation based on PVR and RT explaining all the relationships as well. I should actually redo it because my mic sucked then. It was a long time ago. But I think I should do it again. But yeah, go look at that as well, and it will give you all the differences so you can see why we get the pressure gradients. But it's simple. It just boils down to the temperature, the volume, the amount. That's what gives its pressure gradients. That's it. They're all linked to each other. If you change the temperature, the pressure will change. If you change the volume, the pressure will change. If you change the
composition,
the pressure itself, everything, it's just linked. It's as simple as that. If you change, think of it as a slider or a 3-stage scale. As soon as you change the one, the other two move. As soon as the one moves, the other two move. They're all linked to each other. It's constantly dancing in movement.
You start losing a lot of different elements too. A lot of people don't take into account that the dust, even in the atmosphere, in the atmos, is a part of the equation. And as we go up higher and higher, we start losing the dust. We start losing the moisture. It starts to become arid. We don't have as much moisture. We get up above where the actual cloud layers are at. Well, then we've lost damn near all the water vapor, which accounts, for a great amount. And you got to consider it's not just those things too. We've got this respiration aspect that's taking place down here on the ground all the time within what they call the troposphere. We've got the evaporation and condensation of moisture continuously happening. And there again, factors such as temperature and pressure are part of the dynamics that cause that to happen. We've got the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen back and forth between animals and plants. The breaking down of organic material, producing gases, those gases then in turn going into things that are coming into life I mean, it's really quite a complex system. It's not something that can just happen from a big explosion somewhere. This is really very intricate, very complex, and every portion of it is an integral part of the machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to work together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just like your body. It's your body isn't one thing. It's a whole bunch of different systems all put together, working in conjunction with one another. So if your liver decided it was just going to be independent of itself and do whatever the hell it wants, well, now we got a problem. And this is what we've got a problem with people. We don't look at ourselves as part of Earth or as Earth. We look at ourselves as separate from it, something that's on it. We're not. We are part of it, just like everything is. They want to talk about cows farting causing problems. You want to know what's responsible for over 80% of the methane in the Earth's air? Termites. Yes, termites, not cow farts, termites. Most of the
I have heard that before as well.
Yeah, most of the plant-based oxygen, people think, oh, the rainforest. No, man, it's algae. Algae produces the majority of plant-based oxygen.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. I think at the end of the day, you just have to understand this dynamic system we live in won't exist if we weren't contained.
And the little things are important, man. The little things are important. That's what I was just pointing out there. The algae. Who'd think that algae, little tiny, what?
There's a function for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Besides mosquitoes. I'm joking.
Well,
Yeah, they've got no place.
Bill Gates found a function for him. He's going to turn him into psycho genetic mutant.
Well, remember, Satan wanted to have to create something so bad, so he came up with a fly and and a mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
But if we didn't have those, we wouldn't have the breakdown of organic material, which is necessary in this whole dynamic system. I mean, we find it disgusting. We're supposed to stay away from that decomposing stuff. Let it do its thing. That's why we're naturally revolted by it.
Yeah.
Just the last question, and I don't want to dig into it, but the container that you guys are talking about, where do you guys perceive this container to be?
Somewhere above us, obviously. Has to be.
Yeah. I think that's a difficult question to answer, though, because I don't think we can probably go high enough to figure that out. But our argument is based on because of natural law, it has to be there. It can't exist if it wasn't there. That's the only argument. We don't know where it is made out of. We don't know where it is. But we do know it has to be there because nature dictates it to be there.
Yeah.
So, if you guys don't believe in gravity and the cause for the downward bias that we do see in nature, would you not? If you had to, let's put it this way. So, you believe that gravity, as I see it, don't have any effect on gas.
Not the direct effect, no.
Yeah. Would you say that your, electrostatics or, your disequilibrium, those arguments that you guys have, would that have an effect on gas?
To an extent.
And if that had an effect on gas, your cause, your explanation of the downward bias, would you think that perhaps that could cause the gradients and cause the pressures and not to require the container?
Well, I don't think there is a downward bias there. I just think there's an order to how things are ordered. Otherwise, it'd be very chaotic. The denser is going to seek equilibrium down because it's based on its equilibrium point, which can support what? That's why you usually have, like, the phone cannot be supported by the air because it's just too heavy. It's too dense. The displacement ratio is too much on the side of the phone to be able to support it. It's the same with the gas. The gas is moving around me constantly. I've got different amounts of density gases moving around, and I'm displacing the air around me. But if I had to, for instance, now jump in the air, I'm going to go down again because the air can't support me any longer because I'm too dense for the air to support me.
Sure. And do you see different types of gas higher in the atmosphere?
Yes, there's a different
Absolutely.
concentration of gases higher than at the bottom.
And
Where's
and
all
and,
where's
and do
all
you
the hydrogen? Where's all the hydrogen go, do you reckon? You know, hydrogen is a natural byproduct of the breaking down of calcium by hydrochloric acid. So even in your stomach acid is hydrochloric acid. Any calcium that you intake, one of the byproducts of breaking that down is hydrogen. So this
so
hydrogen's got to be going somewhere.
so if you take gas, a sample of gas 5 kilometers up, what do you think? I don't know, and I'm asking the question. What do you think that would comprise of? What type of gas?
I don't know. I'd have to analyze it. Go up there and get a sample of it and analyze it. And I'm not going to
I
take
think,
somebody's word for it. I know that.
yeah, and I think it also determines on where you are, because some locations have a more concentration of certain gases lower to the ground.
So if I had to put this to you, if you could, and look, I don't know the details. I'm asking, and I'm asking what your result would be, or how you would treat it. If we could show that less dense gas are more higher up in the atmosphere or more prominent, and your more dense gas is lower down on Earth, more towards your ground level.
They are.
So that for me may or may not say, okay, cool. Well, that is a very similar argument to what your disequilibrium argument is. That the denser thing goes down and the less dense things, tend to go a bit higher.
I think this year it's not actually going down. Remember, we showed you they're hitting
Yeah,
each
they
other.
find their balance.
Yeah, now imagine you got a whole bunch of these less dense gases on top of a denser gas. It's still hitting, they're having elastic collision. So the denser gas is now starting to move up, and then whoop, it hits another gas, and then it goes down. And then it hits again, and it finally moves up. And it's, that same gas molecule is every time hitting, getting a bit higher, maybe getting a bit lower again, a bit higher, then hitting that side, where it's going to, let's say, take a month for that gas molecule to have reached where a less denser gas molecule is reached, because it moved faster and because it is able to fit through, just very rudimentally, smaller spaces.
No, sure, but if you take an average, if you had to be able, if you were able to go to various locations around Earth, and you had to take a sample of gas, say 5 or 10 miles up, and the result would be, and the result that you find is that the less dense gas is more prominent at the higher altitudes. Would you say that that could be a result of your disequilibrium argument?
Yeah, because something that's less dense takes less kinetic energy to move.
Which could cause the gradients, and perhaps go as far as to say, if this is the cause, then we can say, but then we don't need a container.
You still need a container.
You still need a container, because what happens when the top layer gets stripped away? What happens? It's going to strip all away. You have to have it contained in order to even have this gradient. And even in order to have any specific volume of gas, it must be contained.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
I'm just trying to figure out, what other narrative there could be, because, I mean, you can try and explain it as much as you want to. There's no evidence of a container.
Yes,
So
there is.
I'm trying to help your point, to say, what if gas does have an effect on your disequilibrium argument? Would that have an argument?
First of all, what evidence do we have of containment? We just gave it to you. You're not going to be breathing without pressurized gases. You're
Yeah,
not
sure. And
going
you
to
can't
have,
breathe 5 kilos up in the air.
you can't have pressurized gases without containment. Now, at 5 kilometers high, is there still pressure? Is there still pressure? Yes, of course there is. Okay, is it less? Sure. But there's still pressure. And the natural antecedent to pressure is containment, bro. That's all. Until you can demonstrate or show another method of containing a volume of gas and thereby having pressure, there's nothing else. There's no other way.
Yeah, look, I'm just trying to use the argument that Flatzoid normally uses for the downward bias in normal matter. Perhaps this does have an effect on gas, and perhaps this can help explain the constant gradient in various areas. Well, not various, all over.
Yeah, but
And
it's still
perhaps
not
that could
constant.
help us get to a understanding of, what is up there and not just guessing.
Well, wait a second. Hold on a second. Do you believe in? Are you a student of Occam's razor?
No.
No, you don't believe that the most obvious answer is most likely the right answer.
Yeah, but it's not always like that.
Well, not always like that. Okay, on some rare occasions, it's not. So the thing is it's almost what other method of gas containment can you come up with that would explain how we have air without a physical container? Is there anything?
If gas reacts to the disequilibrium that Flatzoid uses to explain the downward bias on normal matter, then I would be quite happy to accept
Okay, so
the
you're
gradient
straw
and the
manning.
no container.
You're totally straw manning him. He did not say that was the cause. Again,
No,
it
I'm
was.
not saying he said that the
It's
cause.
a
I said
factor.
that
It's
might
a
help the
factor,
argument.
but you're not understanding the difference. Okay, we're comparing. We're the medium. This is what we're talking about is the medium. Okay, the medium is the very air that we're in. Whether you're at 5 kilometers high or down here on the ground, that's the medium. Relative density disequilibrium is the relative density of an object within a given medium, thereby giving it what its weight. Its weight is a quantification of its relative density within a given medium. If I change the medium, I can change the weight of the object. For instance, an object in a vacuum chamber will become heavier when you remove the air. So there goes the whole idea of 14.7 pounds pushing down on you, right? That's gone now. So if I increase the density of the medium in conjunction with the object, okay, then what we're doing is we're actually lessening the weight of the object because we're increasing the density ratio of the medium to a point where even if I get to mercury, using mercury, I can cause a steel anvil to float like a piece of styrofoam. Okay. So the medium is definitely, and now what you're talking about is you're trying to take various components within the medium, and now you're wanting to go down on the atomic scale of weights and densities of each of these different molecules of gases. When it comes down to the fundamental point, it's all various components of a medium in which we reside, and that medium cannot exist without containment.
Can I ask him a question right quick? He mentioned static electricity and static forces, right? How would you have that without a physical contact against the surface? You wouldn't be able to develop those forces to begin with.
No,
Is
look,
that not
I
correct?
wasn't claiming to understand the concept. I was merely stating that
But
a lot of flat earthers are saying electrostatics is the cause for the downward bias.
And
Flatzoid
Yeah,
would say that it is the disequilibrium argument. So I don't know exactly what it is. I'm just trying to make sense of it.
I'm not Flatzoid, and we're not all flat earthers say the same thing. You try to stereotype all flat earthers into a pigeonhole, and that's not going to work. The fact
No,
that if
I'm
you
just
actually study
using an
physics,
example of what other people are saying. I'm not saying you,
Yeah,
and I'm
he's
not
not
saying that
we
is what
said
is
that.
the case. I'm just
okay,
saying
all right.
I'm trying to get to the point, and I'm trying to understand what the different arguments are. Whether it's your argument or not, I mean, that's besides the point.
Well, I'm just not making an argument. I want proof for your claims that you come in claiming you're a glober and you claim that gravity exists, and I have not yet seen demonstrable proof that gravity is a force. It's just a word they throw in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly, and
They claim
I'm happy to believe. I'm very happy to stick
you
with it.
believe. Yes, you believe it. You believe it. That's exactly. This is a religion
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in.
And you
Yeah,
believe
so
there's a firmament. I mean, same thing.
we know there's
No,
There
actually,
has to be.
there has to be.
There has to be.
There has to be, but you don't see it.
No,
You can't prove it.
How do you
You
know
can't
you
touch
don't
it.
see it? How do you
Actually,
know
we
you
have
don't
people that see it.
Wait a second. How do you know you don't see it? Have you ever looked up
Well,
at the sky? What is
have you
that?
seen it?
What is it?
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Every time I look up, I see it.
Okay, but you can't tell me where it is.
It's right up above us.
Oh,
Oh, come on, man. No.
Actually, we have people that actually make observations and actually have seen a surface above the stars. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you
In
something.
1957, go ahead. In 1957, go ahead. I'll let you go.
You keep doing that. All right, go. Listen, Nico, haven't you ever noticed that when you focus in on one object in the sky, in the night sky, that everything is in focus? How in the world is that possible?
Different
How
distance.
in the world can you be focused in on these things if they're all these major distances away from each other and everything else?
Yep.
It's because they're in the firmament that you're claiming is not there.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you've got to be firmament there. It's got to be. It has to be for gas pressure. I mean, without
Well,
containment, there is no
you both said that you don't know how high it is and where it is, so that's what I took it on.
Do you know how high it is? How high is Polaris?
I don't believe in a firmament, so I don't have any
Okay,
claim
well,
on it.
how far away is Polaris, for instance? That's our main North Star. How far away is it?
I've got no idea.
Oh, okay, that's
Do
right.
you know?
How far? No, I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah,
know.
so you can't claim anything then.
Well, you're not telling me anything.
But I wasn't trying to tell you anything.
How far away is the moon?
I've got no idea.
You don't have
250,000
any
miles
idea.
apparently.
You don't even know by
But
your own
that's
model
not my
that
claim.
it's 237,000 miles away according to the globe model, right? Okay, that's
Yeah.
that. How would you know that? How come I can focus in? How come I can see something 250,000 miles away with my naked eye and pick out detail? What? That's
Well,
insane.
I'm hoping Flatzoid had an idea of where I was going to in my argument, and I wasn't making an argument. I was trying to understand nature and what we observe based on the arguments that I hear from your side.
Mm-hmm.
So,
my point
take it
was-
or not, it's pointless. It's fine by me.
I know. My point was anyway. My point was about containment. You've got to have containment for gas pressure. Whether you see the firmament or not, it's got to be there for gas pressure. And if there was no such thing as containment, there wouldn't be any such thing as gas. It wouldn't exist. There has to be containment for it.
Can I ask Flatzoid then?
Okay.
Flatzoid describes the downward bias because of the disequilibrium argument. Am I right in saying that?
Bias, man.
No
There's
bias.
no downward bias.
Things go up as well.
Okay, well, the way how your things balance itself out and why the denser things at the bottom and the lighter things at the top.
Things go up also.
Is that a better explanation?
Same thing, but yeah, it's just support. Things can support
Yeah,
things.
sure. So if the lightest gas is right on top, and there is no more lighter gas, would that not be an explanation?
What do you mean? How's that explaining anything?
Meaning, if there is no container, and hear me out, if there is no container, and your gases are arranging itself because of the balance that the disequilibrium argument gives it, would you still require a container?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course, because look, dude, if you didn't have it, then it's going to disperse.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's going to
if
disperse.
that balance that Flatzoid explains, the disequilibrium argument,
All right,
if that has an
you're in
effect
a
on the
totally
gas,
different. Now you're in
then
a
it
totally.
won't disperse all over the place.
Wait.
You're talking about the medium itself. You're not. That's not RDD.
No, I'm talking about gas. I don't know what medium.
Yeah, I
this
know.
is.
You don't. A medium is a gas, a liquid, whatever the substance that you are immersed in at all times. There is no escaping the medium.
Okay, but I'm going to try put on show you quickly what this is. Goes to what you're saying. You see, I've given now, let's say 10 kilometers up for just simple sake. I put this would be a closed container. Okay, but we're going to open it now. I've got 3 gases, the denser gas being a 3, the lighter gas being a 2, and the lightest gas a 1. That would be, let's say, their speed that they're traveling. Okay, the slower would be a 3. The fastest would be a 1. Would you say, okay, let's say they're all moving at the same amount of time. So let's say this 1 moves 5. How am I going to do this now? Let's say this 1 moves 5 paces in this direction, okay? So we'll say that's 5 paces. In the amount of time, this one has moved this direction in 5 paces. You see, it's half that. Then this one has moved the same amount of time, halfway again. Okay? So that means the new position for 1 would be there. The new position for this one would be now going to bounce off that way. The new position of this one would bounce off that way as well. Now, by the time this one gets here, there's more gas to contain it. Remember, it's still getting bombarded constantly by different gases all the time here. This one's moving through it. Remember, it's smaller than this one, so it can fit through gaps easier than there. Imagine you running through a mall and there's a whole bunch of people, and you're some scrawny little dude. You're going to hit and bump less people than some huge-ass dude trying to run in the mall. You'd agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you're gonna run faster than that guy that's heavier, and you're gonna hit less people that's heavier. So you're gonna get to your destination quicker and easier than the fat guy. Okay, so that's why you have the lighter, less dense gases going out of the container quicker than what you would, for instance, number 2 or number 3. Number 3 can't actually get higher than, let's say, here past 6, because as soon as it gets here, the kinetic energy it had to move is now overpowered by it hitting another gas, which causes it to go back down. Number 2 will reach a higher altitude because it's got now less gas to contain it, and as well used its kinetic energy a bit up than the others and hit another gas or something and come back down. Or if it misses it, it just takes longer to escape. Number 1.
Backstage, sorry, Silver's backstage, Vlad.
Oh, I didn't see. Sorry, man. And then number 1 would get out the easiest because it's smaller, has more kinetic energy, and has less chance of having a collision. Now, this would happen, and eventually all the gas would just leave because there won't be any collisions to be able to bring anything down. The denser gas would take the longest to get out because that would be the last to get out. Now, that would mean we had no gas to breathe. Now, what happened if we closed the container? The gas would reach up there, that would be number 1, and just bounce back down and keep bombarding at all the different levels to keep the gases. And because these dense gases can't get past these gases that are hitting them back down, it's not able to escape. That's why we have it. Understand?
Absolutely.
It goes back to that animation that Sovereign Soul presented. We added the larger gas molecules into the container, and eventually they all mix all over the place. But anyways, look, be it as it may.
But if he changes the volume,
No, that's without changing the volume.
Hold on, and I wasn't heating and cooling the various areas of the container either. It was merely a demonstration of one aspect.
He's frozen up. Or
Of
is
the
it me
gas.
frozen?
No, for sure. I get it.
Okay, I've frozen. Sorry.
So I just think if I had to apply Flatzoid's explanation of how things balance itself, then I would be quite happy to accept that the gases will gather at certain levels, and you wouldn't need a container for it.
No, I showed you why you would need it, because the one scenario, the gas would just leave. If there's no more gases to now counteract the other gases coming up to hit it so it can go back down, it would also just go up.
Here's
the
a good
one
way to do that.
containment will keep it from getting up. So it
Yeah,
has
sure,
to-
but if you apply your disequilibrium argument, then the same will happen.
If you take your hexafluoride dense gas and you were to put a layer of it inside of an aquarium and just let it set, you will come back after a certain amount of time and there will be no more of it in the container anymore. It'll be gone. It will have gone out and dissipated over out into the rest of the air. It takes longer because it's a much denser gas than anything else that we're in. But there you would actually see, you'd get a little bit of a pressure gradient within the hexafluoride. But here's the problem: after a while, it's all going to start going up out of the top. There it goes. It's history forever. Not there anymore. That's what would happen here, but at a much faster rate. Much faster rate. We're talking about the air pressure that we are feeling right now compared to what they claim space to be, 10 to the negative 17 torr. And this is what and what it would do is just strip away your layers of your gradient like a hyper licking a freaking Tootsie Pop. It'd be gone. And just like immediately.
Yeah, so the globe model also does say that gas does escape because of the directions and so on that it dissipates in.
What they're talking about is a leak. Now, a leak would indicate containment, wouldn't it? Because gas
I don't think they talk about a leak.
It doesn't leak like that out into a supposed vacuum or a very what do they call it? Ultra low pressure, a ULP, ultra low pressure, 10 to the negative 17. We're at 720 torr where we're at right now. I'm sorry, that dog does not hunt. It's not ever gonna happen.
No.
And as I've stated before, within a contained vessel, you can create a pressure gradient using temperature. If you wanted to get real complex, I suppose you could create something that would similarly mimic the Earth system. But the only one I know that could create something like that is God, with all the variables and factors that are within the dynamic system itself. But the reality of it is that you can't have any specific volume of gas without containment. This goes with like their idea what the sun is. They say the sun is hydrogen that collected together and got so big and had such gravity on itself, it crushed in on itself. Well, how do you get hydrogen to form together into a mass in the first place? Here you got molecules that do not bond to one another. And then one day, two hydrogen molecules ran into each other and said, hey, baby, let's just hold hands. And we'll start gathering up a whole bunch of our friends together and we'll just become a good. No, it doesn't occur.
No, of course not. Ridiculous.
Interesting story.
And especially in the universe, it's meant to be expanding. That's doing the total opposite of expansion.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean,
So-
we're told the estimates by the scientists say that there is that hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, and so that it's at 1 atom per cubic meter.
Right.
Is what they claim. Okay, so why aren't they just gravity pulling each other together into little, nowhere else do they ever do that. Why would being out in space do that? Or in a vacuum? In a vacuum, they'd want to go expand to fill the available space. And from what I told, they say that it's endless. So there goes that.
Absolutely. No, well said, man.
They
Tell me,
run
Phil, that map behind you, is that the one you live by?
No, that's the North Pole. That's an Arctic map by
Oh,
Mercator.
sure.
Sure, it is. I can verify that. Most people know that that's what that is. You can see the Americas up to my, up over here behind me, right here. And what else do we got? I've got one over on the wall too. Down here is Scandinavia, right down here below me. Let me see if we can see.
Oh yeah,
There, right there. See?
my home place.
Yeah, man.
Hi, Des.
Hey,
Good to see you, brother.
Look what's in the very
Follow you.
middle. Look what's in the very middle. Oh, Mount Meru, the Rufus Negro. What?
The gigantic black mountain that's way taller than any mountain we have ever seen in the known world.
It's because black rocks matter, man.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, bro.
I want to say hi to this Lord too. How you doing today?
Hey guy, I'm doing well. What about you?
Roger, you were going to say something about 1957 or something. Or 1959 or something earlier.
Where are you now?
Is it just me or has Ryan picked up a lot of weight all of a sudden?
I know. He's gruesome.
Yeah, Ryan.
It's gruesome, yeah, as well.
Maybe that dude ate Ryan.
Entropy got the better of him.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Ryan.
Wow.
There we go.
We were thinking you metamorphosized into somebody else.
You changed size and you grew hair. What happened?
He's the mini version of me. He's one of my best friends. I've known him since he was born, actually.
Wow.
Fair play.
I'm not much older than him, but I remember.
And that's rare, though. And that's rare to know someone for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, it's weird knowing somebody that long because I know everything about him. But we're not going to go there.
Yeah. Because hello, Ryan's real friend. We're his digital friends.
No, we're real friends.
Yeah, you notice he's not afraid of the camera at all either. Yeah, he's just like, I know the camera's on. I don't give a shit. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he's also very open-minded about flat Earth. He's been listening to the conversation. That's why he's been sitting over here.
Nice.
Yep, see? There it is. They're like, yep.
That's a good start, man.
He's one of my more open-minded friends. But Dave also is he's on our side too. I don't know what Dave is in his own little area of the path.
He's in his own world, period.
Yeah, that's true too.
Nice.
Absolutely true.
Fair play. It's a good start.
People are too trusting. People are too trusting, and this is the one that gets me too, because the more you look into it, the more it flabbergasts you when you run across people that they have this unwarranted faith in academia.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
just unwarranted faith in it. Like it is just the bastion of knowledge, and it is actually the antithesis of that in this Luciferian world that we live in, where everything is inverted. We got the healthcare system that destroys health. We've got education systems that destroy knowledge. We've got police that are corrupt. They're actually the criminals. It's just like in Sympathy for the Devil. It's almost like those lyrics coming to life. Every cop is a criminal and every sinner is a saint. And here we putting old Trump up on a pedestal like he's some kind of a godlike figure, and it's like, oh my God, these people are so,
you're like, what? Wait a
so
minute.
backwards. They tell you the earth is really tiny and small and insignificant, and you find out, no, it's actually the center of everything.
We are but dust.
It's just, you're hit with a huge mind rape from the moment you're born. You're brought into this world in a trauma ritual. I'll say it. I mean, they put you in there. Here's this guy under bright lights. You come into this world and everybody's acting like it's some kind of a medical emergency. So there's this sense of fear and everything around everybody involved. And then they take you into this brightly lit room. And the first thing you see is you come into this bright ass light is some masked stranger with gloves on who quickly cuts you loose from your mother, towels you off, shows you to her, and then puts you in a box. I mean, this is what we do, and we wonder why people are screwed up in the head. That was their first experience in this world. Welcome to the world, bitch. We're in charge. Smack across the ass, and in the box you go.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
Well said. Well said.
Look, I don't think you can discredit academia. If it wasn't for that guy in the white robe and the mask that you just described, and his research into medicine, then the death rate of babies would have been much higher than what it currently is.
No, that's a myth. Okay, you just hit on the key right there. His knowledge of medicine. What you mean pharmaceuticals? Petroleum-based pharmaceuticals. What's his knowledge on physiology? What's his knowledge on health? Did you know that doctors they only have to take about 6 hours of class on nutrition?
That's crazy.
Are you kidding me? They don't treat a patient, they treat symptoms. And how do they treat the symptoms? They either cut it off or give you a pill. That's the only two options you get.
Covering out. That's it. It just knows it for a little bit, numbs it, and then it's back.
I'm going to say thank you, Sandra, for your £2 super chat. It says, don't understand why Effie's got it, but most can't. It's the cognitive dissonance, Sandra. Yeah. And that's the unfortunate truth. You rock. Yeah.
Back to the academia thing. If there wasn't researchers in this world researching and doing lab tests and digging into health science and digging into technology and digging into the way that we communicate and store data, and if you look at the amount of data, for argument's sake, YouTube is storing every minute, it is exponentially growing. And without those researchers and that academia, this wouldn't be possible.
It has put us into a surveillance state. You are absolutely right. It has put us into an Orwellian surveillance state. Yep. Bravo for us. We found a way so that the paranoid control freaks at the top can keep tabs on the slaves if we get angry. Yep. That's real progress, I'll tell you.
If that technology wasn't developed, this conversation wasn't happening.
Yeah, so?
At the speed that it is. I mean,
So
Flatzoid
what
is in
did
South
that have to
Africa, I
do-
believe.
Did you know that
Sob,
most-
I'm not sure where you is in America.
All right, so did you know that most discoveries come from outside of the field that it benefits? And
I
this
wouldn't
is
be
the
surprised.
problem with peer review because nothing new is considered. For instance, did the light bulb industry did the light bulb, was it invented by the candle industry? No. Well, how about the kerosene people that were making kerosene lamps? Did they develop a light bulb? Nope. But a guy came along that wasn't in either one of those professions and revolutionized lighting for everybody, didn't he? What if he'd gone peer review to all the candle makers in the world regarding his light bulb? What if he'd gone to all the kerosene lamp manufacturers, those peers, and introduced his light bulb? What do you think he'd been met with?
Look, I agree what you're saying is I just don't think you can discredit all of them. So if there wasn't research in this world into technology, into health, into communication, into transport, into those type of things, food, nutrition, mass farming,
I think
this wouldn't have been possible.
They figured out ways to make fake food. They figured out ways to make fake food. That's cool. And we see the results of that with all the obese. And sick.
Yeah, and was that a complete negative result?
Yes.
Like the tomato that you eat?
Man trying to play God. He defeats himself every time. Absolutely. Every time man tries to play God. Every time.
Okay,
It
guys, are we
resulted
gonna?
in disaster.
Do you guys think it's okay if we end the stream? I've
Yeah,
been
you
awake
fixed a bit.
early this morning.
Nearly 3 hours, dude.
Green crackered, knackered.
And I'm on at 9 a.m. So in
I
flat.
don't know, Flat. I don't know. I think we should go an hour or two more. Just because. But Big
I
Boss,
am
you
tired.
choose. You choose.
Actually, Vicky keeps waking me up. I fell asleep in front of the
You don't have any you don't have any Star Wars or Star Trek posters, do you know?
I still enjoy my Star Wars. Well, the OG Star Wars, not today's.
Dude, there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of truth in Star Wars. And I'm not talking about flying around to planets and space and all that. I'm talking about the underlying tones that are there. The underlying plot that is there, up to and including that force. You know, which side of this are you on? Are you on God's side or are you on Satan's side? You know what I mean? It's that plain right there. And then you had the people that were in between. They didn't know either way. So much of that is so true, the way that it worked and the way that the empire even operated. It showed how the politicians get worse and worse the more power they get and how it corrupts them. See, there's a lot in that. I've probably seen those movies 100 times, man.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, yeah. So I think that was a good show.
And
PJ,
Luke's a
you gotta-
whiny bitch. Luke's a whiny bitch, okay? Luke Skywalker is a whiny bitch, and so is Anakin. That just shows a little whiny bitch will become a big bully. See, that's what happens.
And don't you find it funny and ironic that he needs containment to survive?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, PJ's having a show tomorrow, 9:00 UK.
9 a.m. Yeah, I'm going to do 9 a.m. Just an hour later.
10 a.m. Nice.
Nice.
So you, Roger, you doing something?
Probably
the
not
show,
tonight.
Roger?
No,
I'm not going to do one tonight. I'm going to do one tomorrow.
What, as in, before my...
Probably 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. or so, around there.
Oh, right, okay, so it'll be after mine.
Guys.
Nice. And Sov, you got a show?
No, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
He's gone.
Yeah, Storm.
It was good seeing you. Nico, it's nice talking to you, man, and would love to have you on again sometime.
Absolutely, man.
I'm going to read your gas law story,
Okay.
the document, the paper that you shared, and if I find something interesting, I'll definitely press on your button.
Awesome. And I'm happy to discuss it more with you and stuff. Because, like I said, I don't think you being dishonest. I think it is just something you're trying to look into and you don't get it yet. So you'll get it.
Now, look, if these little presentations that you guys do, I mean, they help and so on. I think if you could try and explain them in a little bit more detail in terms of, take the averages that you've tested. How many of the small modules or molecules are bumping against what and what direction are they bumping into? Those type of things. Because like I say, the way that you guys are explaining it, logically, that tells me that it's going all over the place. So there's no control and you've got no control and no prediction of where they're bouncing to. So there's no way for me to think that it's going to create a gradient. But anyway, so Bida has made, the conversation was fun though, and it made sense here and there. I think both of us has got things to learn in both sides. And I don't think anybody knows everything. And I think because we don't know everything, that academia thing that Sov is so against, that is so important. Never stop learning, never stop researching, and never stop testing it.
Yeah. No, I think with the academia thing, there is pros and cons to both sides. Definitely, we wouldn't get anywhere if there was no academia. So I do agree with that.
But when you mix politics with it, it becomes bad, dude.
That's why I say there's pros and cons to both. Because obviously, think about it. If you didn't have academia studies for, let's say, technology for helping people to breathe, for respiration systems, people would just be dead. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's obviously pros and cons to it.
Right.
But yeah. But I think it was a great show, guys.
Politics with anything that goes into a ball of smoke.
Yeah, definitely. But I appreciate you guys all coming. It was a great show. If you haven't already, guys, hit the likes, share the show. And yeah, I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Sergio coming to present Satan's Little Season. So that's going to be a doozy. Because obviously I don't agree with that. But we'll see what he presents, see what he says. And yeah, I'll see you guys all tomorrow.